Welcome to the closing show. It's going to be a wild one for sure. Have a lot of fun rounding out this week. What hasn't been that positive for the weekend? Fed minutes on Wednesday. That had sent the markets to the downside a couple of red days in a row. There is a bit of a battle back happening. However, when you look at the big board, it is the Dow leading the way. Up 0.66%. The S&P is flat. You will see the NASDAQ down a full percent. It's been teched, it's been weak, dragging markets down a little bit here. Crude oil still relatively strong after bouncing back. It had dipped below 100. We'll actually be talking with one of our favorite guests today a little bit about that particular commodity. Mostly flat when it comes to crypto, although there has been some relative strength over in Ethereum. We were noting that a little bit this morning. When you check out the big board, it's a tale of two stories, right? Like you look at the energy sector here, Oxy up 6.6%, strong moves, Halliburton 5. You're looking at across the board two semiconductors where NVIDIA down a full 4% right now. AMD 2.8% to the downside. Lam down a couple of points. AMAT down a couple of points. And then you flop over to consumer discretionary. I know you'll see Arun been trading Etsy here. One of the only names on the board in the red. They're down 3%, while Home Depot up 3%. Dollar Tree 2.5%. Target 2.5%. Lowe's looking strong. Best Buy up 2% as well. So, definitely bucking the trend is Etsy. And pointing out Twitter shares and communications down 3.7%. Twitter under some pressure. They got the Elon Musk bump, and then they're giving a little bit back to end the week. Still finding a tiny bit of strength in the materials, not nearly as strong as we're seeing in energy. Basically 2 to 2.5% across the board. Consumer staples looking about the same. It's a bit of a mixed board for some of the industrials as well. But I think one of the stories that we talked about earlier on this week was the strength in healthcare, and you're seeing that continue again today. Biogen up 2.5%, some strength across those sectors. They've been relatively strong all week. This is why we're seeing the NASDAQ down, and if I flip over to NASDAQ as well, like this is what you'll see. It's red across the board. NASDAQ weak, and then strength in some of those Dow-type names. You'll see Zoom, some of the reopen names down 2% there. Again, healthcare showing you that strength with Regeneron up 3%, Biogen up 2.5% as well. Every single day, before we get on to the rest of this trading day, we always want to look back, not just at the trading opportunities that are there, but the trades that we could learn the best from. So we're happy to have Sean coming through today to talk about one of his trades from a little bit earlier. Listen up.
Hey guys, yeah, it's your trade of the day today, and guess what? Very similar to what yesterday's was with Rite Aid, it's going to come with Robinhood, and this time I put up here our sticky note from @TraderTV Sean on Twitter. You can find out right here. It's our number. Well, we had Tesla talking about that first, right there at 1072. But look at Robinhood. They actually caught a downgrade, and we talked about it right here. We catch a downgrade from Goldman Sachs today, and it made a lot of sense to me. And I feel like a lot of the traders, I think the average account size on Robinhood is something like $800. So there's a lot of traders in there right now that are trading those beat down names, those Clovers of the world, AMC, GME, some of those stocks. And what they basically cited in their release here and their downgrade was the lack of engagement there coming through Robinhood. They just don't see that this quarter they're going to have the same daily active users. I know that's a social media term, but they're going to have less trading happening there. And especially with crypto right now, crypto's pretty stable. I know that's kind of crazy to say, but it actually is. That doesn't create a lot of trading opportunities either for Robinhood. So some back and forth here. I just said big time, let's just go with the short there. So it was very, very easy for me to sort of have a directional bias. And that's the number one thing that I just want to give to everybody here now. You have to think about, okay, I want to trade Robinhood. Why? Because we have the news. There's a catalyst there. But which direction do we want to? We want to be short. So I'm trying not to flip long, stay focused, figure out the key levels, and then basically let's just go right into it right now. I started early because this broke here, and actually on my sticky note, we talked about it, so it's okay, but we were thinking about getting in somewhere between 12, where we were yesterday at 12, in between 12 and 11, so maybe 11.50, something like that. Between 11 and 12 to the high side. So what we were looking for was something in here. Unfortunately, this break happens, and it's pretty early at 9 o'clock, so we did take an early short there, but you can see what what wound up happening, nothing on that short, and that just allowed it to just sort of drift back up. And then the market opens. You can see where we start really getting aggressive. I don't really want to mess with too many of these names when you're seeing that there's low volume, because that just lets somebody with 10,000 shares or something influence where this thing is going. We don't really want to mess around with those. So what we do is we wait for the market to open. And like Rite Aid yesterday, check it out on April 7th, Rite Aid, we were let it go up, and I was like, what? Why is Robinhood even going up here? So it goes up off the open. We're talking about 935 right now, and then boom. So in. We're in 5 times here. We have the position we want. We don't have a full position just in case this keeps on going, but hey, never happened, so we'll take what we have. And then all of a sudden, this is what I'm doing a lot better now, I feel like, becoming patient with the trade. And you're gonna say, well, you have 15 outs here. How is that patient? But believe me, the fact that we got a lot of them out here on this pre-market bottom tells me that we did a pretty good job managing our trade, to the fact where we can even reload it. It comes back up near that 50 period. We reload it, take it again. We don't take it all out because we're still thinking it drops, but then it gives another opportunity right back into this pre-market level that we like again here, defending this 1150 top. So, okay, we'll take more shares. At this point, I remember clearly, it comes back into VWAP and we get out. We discussed this on the show. We were a little nervous. The NASDAQ started to run, and we are well aware that this could happen again. So we didn't want to pile in, and we actually wanted to get a little bit lighter on the trade. Big mistake, because getting lighter up there, wrong. It comes right back in, and then we start getting out again at the same levels, but we're always trying to hold a little piece, and we actually do a pretty good job here of holding for, again, a VWAP break, a 50-period break, all the way back down. Should have reloaded there. We didn't. Again, I wasn't overly confident. Once this is done, we're kind of just playing with house money now, so we should have been a little more confident. Comes back in and we get the low of the day there. The low of the day is actually 1106. This is an 1111 fill. So we actually do pretty good here. Robinhood, remember, the reason why you're trading it is because we had this Goldman Sachs downgrade, and I read through the downgrade. It made sense. We discussed it live on the air at 8:30. So we had this trade already booked in. It's probably my best. Wow, we have a few other good trades today, but I think this one made a lot of sense, and I hope you learned a lot with today's trade of the day.
And it wasn't just the fact that Sean was in the Trader TV Live hoodie that made him trade Robinhood, but it's the fact that it was in play. That is the key. Goldman Sachs downgrade. We talked about Rite Aid yesterday with the downgrade, price target to $1. But this is why you want to trade something that's actionable. We put out our free watch list every single day. Watch list.tradertv.live. You can scan the QR code. We make sure we get the names that we think are going to be able to move, so that we can take the opportunity to trade them. But I don't think the day is done with this name in particular, guys. I'm not a big trend line person myself, but when I look at this chart, and I'm talking about the daily chart on Robinhood, and we had mentioned that all-time low just below $10, I believe. Oh, well, you mentioned it this morning, the all-time low. I think it's about $9.80 or something like that, Sean. And then you had higher lows, $9.95, and then just over $10, $10.20. And today it's putting in a bottom at about $11. So is this a case of, I mean, the stock in a week and a half has gone from 16 to 11. Is there a base to have been found here? I mean, I understand the market bounced a little bit here as well, but have we made a bottom? What are we doing with this in the afternoon? Can this be bought?
Yo, what's up? I was just reading some of the comments there, caught me off guard, and trying to check out the Masters. But yeah, no, Robinhood, look, I mean, that's what we were talking about, right? Robinhood there? Robinhood. Yeah, I mean, that was the trade of the day, so thank you guys for watching out for that one. And look, I mean, even as you zoom back in, the one thing I didn't talk about there was, look at this disgusting move down the last couple of days, right? I mean, Robinhood had this bump up there, and that was on the trading hours being extended. Well, that doesn't appear to be that big of a story after all. And then it just moved to the downside, and then today, of course, like we said with Rite Aid yesterday, you kind of get that widowmaker where it's like, you know, it's already down and beat up a little bit, and then you get the report coming through. So yeah, today was kind of easy pickings for us. But if you do zoom this back out, you could see that Robinhood, there it is there, 12.10, the move back down in today, and we're still not really, I mean, I'm still, like yesterday, I'm in a little bit of a short, waiting for it to come back up to 1150 here so we can reload that position. But yeah, just, I feel like, you know, Robinhood, we talked about this, you know, you get those discount brokerages that we're bought up with. Morgan Stanley and taking out E-Trade. But, you know, I feel like that's the only sort of solution here for Robinhood, is that eventually their market cap gets so low. And what is it, 8 billion now or something? Let me just look it up here before we go. That eventually they get bought out. Yeah, so at today's, I don't know if this includes today or not, but we had 10.4 billion probably before today. Take 6% out of that. So yeah, you're looking at, like I was saying, around $10 billion for a market cap. I think they could get bought out, but it's been a rough ride for shareholders here of Robinhood, and it doesn't get any easier moving forward.
It definitely doesn't. The key on the technical side, what I would have loved to look at earlier, if the shorts weren't, you know, you had to pay for them, was that 12 even break. We talked about this. Short around 1150 would have worked out really well. Working into this zone, into the 12s, and that area is still going to be a problem. Even if it bounces in the next couple of days, you got to be worried about what north of 12 is going to bring to the table. So only way this could have a chance of turning positive is if we got above 13 even. At that point, you can be like, you know what, maybe they did find a decent base down here, but for the time being, it looks like they want to work south of 12. There's a decent amount of volume on the sell side, and the low is 10, big round number, or it's just underneath 10, big round number. Definitely got to keep an eye on that one. We're not that far away either side. We're kind of in the middle here, away from 13, but away from 10 as well. And if this just decides to get even closer to that 1050, I think that 10 even is going to become magnetic, and you got to take a shot at that one. It does look like it's setting up for something, maybe somewhat of an extension to the downside, but pretty obvious, like Sean mentioned. That's the downtrend you're dealing with. It was good for 5 days after it IPO'd. As high as 88 bucks, or not even 88 bucks, like $85. And then from that day, from that day on, it was just a downtrend. And here we are now sitting at 1130 with all-time lows not too far away.
Sense, obviously, with the downgrade to one that if you shorted it off the open, would have worked out for you, Crowdstrike. They got a Department of Defense authorization to protect some of their assets. Obviously, that's going to be a pretty big deal. It had multiple upgrades. I mean, I'll just throw one of them out here. It was Canaccord raising their price target from 260 to from 238. So obviously, you know, pretty bullish on the name, and it was trading up most of the pre-market. You're sort of looking like it was going to take out, or at least get to on the daily, some of that 230, 232, the lower high that got put in here. But it had that good run. It went from 220 at the open, 221 at the open, got close to that 230, 227, and then the rug pulled a little bit here with Crowdstrike. I know the market started to fall off a little bit, but I know you were trading it a little bit, Arun. What do we do with Crowdstrike? Because that was a good piece of news, although I remember Sean pointing out that insane PE that they have, and maybe that was the culprit.
Issue, right? Crowdstrike was a great long initially, and you can see it on the board here. We try to pick it up into the 220s. I grabbed 222 and change, and it was great for 10, 15 minutes as it goes towards that 227. You take a look at the daily, you realize that 230 is going to be a problem, so you start tightening up stops, you start protecting against the downside, and then as you can see from this exit, from a $5 winner to just under $1 or so, we get out, and that was it. I was done with Crowdstrike because of that type of move, but then you look at what it's done for the rest of the day, and then you start to wonder, damn, okay, if this is how we're going to play this range now, there could actually be some more downside. Even with this good news, there could be some more downside left on the table here for Crowdstrike because of the way it's reacting to this type of a move. We should have gone at least taken a look at that 230. We didn't even get to that. We got to like 227 and change. So this is problematic for the long term, not the long term, well, like the swing side of looking at a move like this where you're thinking is setting up in a decent long setup, especially after getting through that 218 or 215 and change, working that little resistance up here into the 230s, coming back down to support, getting good news, getting a gap up. All of it sounds great right up until you see a reversal like this. So now you got to think twice. What is Crowdstrike going to bring to the table? You got to mark off now the highs again, which is just north of 230, and then and the more important thing is you got to mark off that bottom, which is around that 205 area, somewhere down here is going to be support. So I would say nothing to do with Crowdstrike for a couple days until we settle up, give some new information, and then we can come back to it again.
I'm laughing because I just went long on Crowdstrike. Yeah.
But that's a scalp type of trade
Yeah,
that you're
exactly.
going for. That's completely different.
Yeah,
right?
so that's a very valid point. So, you know, I'm just going to go long off this bottom here. We're taking out 218. I like the, you know, that's good news. And the same reason why we traded Robinhood there. Let's go long on Crowdstrike right now. And I just feel like it's good news with the DOD. They got a new contract coming through here. If the futures do decide to rip up here in the afternoon, which they could do. I mean, this is what the futures look like. We had a similar move yesterday. Today it's a little more choppy. We called this an inside day, remember? And it seems like that's exactly what it is. We're still inside. We're at the middle right now. Like, we couldn't have done this any better as we come up to 215 here. This is where the futures open today, right? We go up here and we go down there. And right now we're literally in the middle. So if we can get back going, then Crowdstrike booms from here. So I think this is a $3 winner up to 221 if we can get it. So let's see it. Let's see if we can get that. First area to get out here, probably around this 220. And look, I'm going to give it back, not down to here, not down to 215. I don't love the trade that much. It has been broken, let alone if the market does fall back down. But I'm just going to play off some of these bottoms. That's 217. So we'll give this $1 and we'll try to take 2 on the first piece. So for me, risk reward is there. The confidence not super high. It's not the same position that I would have had earlier on in the day because you are heading into the afternoon, into a Friday. You know, Major League Baseball starts today. Neil's got on the pineapple shirt. I mean, he has pineapples on his shirt, but he really does prefer them on the pizza. You know that, Arun. So,
yep.
Now we're going to go to the upside here. We're going to try 220. We'll try to make that $2, but we are going to respect this 217 bottom. And if it breaks it, then hey, we'll lose that $1. But I think that we might have caught a little bit of a swing here on Crowdstrike, and let's try to scalp this up for $2 there, and then if we're lucky enough to get something around 221, and then hey, honestly, if we can empty it out up here, we'll do that. So a third out at 220 because I do believe there's a little bit more upside here than just a $1 move. So we'll try it, Neil, but that's my first spot, first play of action here, 220 on Crowdstrike.
It's a pina power shirt for Lourdes Gurriel. I mean, there shouldn't be any pizza on it. And look, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, which we all know, because it becomes not pizza. So two things. I mean, the perfect segue there because I love it. I could go for a slice actually right now. Although I'm going to be getting oysters instead.
Pineapple pizza?
No, it's going to be Rodney's and it's going to be the Jays game tonight for me. That's what it's all about. Going to have some fun. But you just mentioned going long Crowdstrike, so the market has been rebounding. We showed you the NASDAQ was still down, but the ES has turned green here. And we made another one of those. We're falling down all day, all morning, and then hard right turn, and then bounce to the upside again. Yesterday it happened after Europe closed. Today it just sort of bottomed out almost at the open, and then we spiked up, again, very close to when Europe closed, and there was no major headline really causing it. So we have gotten a bit of a rebound, but it's not bringing, it's not bringing the tech names with it. So, you know, what are your thoughts, or maybe Arun just talking about what you're looking at for the futures going into this close? Because it is a very different story between the NASDAQ and the ES here.
Yeah, you're getting quite the sell move. I'm looking at the top weighted list. The only one positive is going to be Facebook at 0.17%. Everything else, you got Facebook. NVIDIA down almost 4%, AVGO 2%, Tesla down 2%, everything else at least 1%.
Yeah.
So tech is getting run over today. And the flip side, you look at the S&P, it's up 0.07%. So you're getting decent strength out of Berkshire, JP Morgan, UNH. So across the board, Home Depot up 3.5%. With that all being said, I am short on the futures, and I've been short. Remember, we had this whole, it's going to run against you. Everyone's like, it's going to move out of the way. I'm like, no, just give me the shares or give me the contracts, and here we are short. We're short at 90. Yeah, I went all the way to 15, but I made it very clear that there's going to be a certain area that I'm going to be short in between. And for me, I've had this since 10:30 this morning, and here we are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was shorting anything in between this range, right? And that's going to be the same. Even though we're into the latter half of the day, nothing has changed. There's nothing new that makes me say, I want to get out and take a hit. I have no reason to. This is the area that I wanted to work shorts. I started working shorts at the front end of that area. It didn't go high enough that I could average in better. I planned to average into the zone anyways, but I couldn't get high enough of a price that it made sense to average more. So here we are waiting for that entry around that 90. We're out 8 points, yes, but the story it's a Friday. It's been a decent week. It's going to be it's going to be the second Friday of the month, but it's been a decent week, and you're seeing a huge divergence between the tech market and the rest of the market as a whole. So I would imagine there should be some decent movement towards the end of the day as people kind of adjust their positions going into the weekend, right? So this is one of those things where I'm looking to play for, and I'm not going to cut this straight short. If I need to take it even past 4 o'clock into 4:15, right until the final couple minutes before I need to be out before our systems go down and the futures market closes, I will. But for the time being, it's status quo. Short read is in play. We're going to stick with it. Yes, it looks like there's some action up here that could provide a decent bounce move to the upside. But at the same time, I've been looking at this level. We're going to let it go. Force my hand to get me out. I'm not going to get out on my own, pretty much.
Really love that. Look, I want to talk a little bit about oil here, and at some point, I do want to get your opinions on some of the positions you have on here as well. But there was a small recovery in oil yesterday. Wipeout bottom in crude oil futures, and we'll just sort of point it out here in the chart. We bounced off 94, and we're starting to get back into the upside. Now, we're only up 2% today, and we are sort of consolidating here. I know we're going to get into some of that with Frank from the small exchange, but you had a major breakout individually in Oxy today, and it got through, like, you got through the 60 level, and it's on its way to the top. So is this a temporary possible bottom that's come in, and some of the bullishness that was there for oil, is it time for it to be back to risk on and running? Energy looking pretty strong. And I know that there's been days where you could just close your eyes and punch long Oxy in recent weeks, and that's worked out. Are we getting a bit of a return to that, and do we see opportunities to start putting that back on our list?
Yeah, so just an update here. We're going to take one piece out of Crowdstrike if we get $1 first, because we're getting 1-to-1 on the risk, and then upside. I sort of screwed that part up there, so we're going to wait for 219. So if you do see part of this come out at 219, we'll do that. But remember I was telling you the last couple of days that I was going to be buying XLE and things like that? Well, we did that. I mean, it was dipping down. We're able to buy this name, and we've been talking about buying it. So not forget about Oxy. Oxy's been working really great as well. But this is XLE, man. Like, you know, big time movement up today, nice range. You see, we're now at the highs for XLE, which is, of course, the energy sector, Spider Trust Energy. And yeah, nice move to the upside. I think it continues to work. I've told you, I believe the biggest trade for 2022 is energy. So that's going to be my call. And now we're going to the upside. I like it. Obviously, it would have been a lot better to buy this thing at 56 when we were down here, but energy continues to work. We've been buyers. I got to ZEO in Canada. I really like that one. That's the BMO covered call. So it's not covered, sorry. Energy Trust. So I really, really like that name. This is what this looks like, ZEO, just for you guys in Toronto. The name that I have, come on, Toronto, there it is. Let me just call it up right here again. I just had some more Canadian cash lying around. The U.S. cash I'm putting to work in the tech names. Not too much to invest, in my opinion, anyways, other than banks and energy in Canada. You can get Shopify, things like that. But here's the ZEO, basically the same thing, a weighted oil and gas ETF. So you're looking at energy, and look what this has been doing, man. We first started buying this here, 54. We've been averaging into it. We got it yesterday, 61 and change. And today you're bumping up. So yeah. To say that I like energy, I mean, obviously, I think it continues to work here. I don't know. I didn't look at Oxy yet. Did you want to look at an individual name? Or are you going to talk about, I can do
Crude
Oxy.
futures. No, I'm going to look at the crude futures.
Okay.
And the reason I wanted to pull up the crude futures is because we talked about this earlier this week. And it was the levels that I marked off that have not still been broken, right? 110 up top. That's what you want to see for potential long breakouts, maybe. Depending on how it breaks. And then the flip side would be about 92.15 to 92 even on the bottom end. If we get below that, we're going to break any sort of support that we've had now twice from late February into early March, and then again in the middle of the month as well in March. And now we're bouncing off that same area. Everything in between, if you end up in the bottom end of the zone, you look for longs. If you end up in the top end of the zone, you look for shorts, and that's it. Right now, we've been playing in the bottom end. Is it a surprise that crude is up 2% on the day? Not at all. Look at where we're bouncing from that 96 into that 95 half area. We're sitting at 98 even on crude, and crude's about to close in about 5 minutes, or at least the majority of the volume is going to disappear in the next 5 minutes after it closes on the electronic side. So here we are at 98 even. It's got space. If it wants to go, it can easily go up to 102, 103, because that's the type of market we're in. We're in a range. If it's in a range, respect the range and be aware that you have limited upside or even downside if you play the short side. So here we are waiting for crude, and I would imagine as we kind of let this one trade out in the next week or so, in the next 4 days before we get to that long weekend, I could see crude easily topping 102 and back towards that top end resistance level here. So keep an eye on crude, but this is not surprising that it's up 2.2% on the day.
So before we get into that chip weakness, I saw it was Christopher in the chat there asking, and thank you, Valeria, for pointing this out. C4 Therapeutics and several other biotech names are down sharply. Look, they presented some clinical data from a phase 1/2 clinical trial. Looks like it was a rather large disappointment. The other names look to be down on sympathy, so without having been able to check each of those, I would make the strong assumption that they're likely very related drugs, and you're going to get a sympathy push down. It's halted several times since falling. It did manage to bounce at $10, and you're seeing it try to get back to the open, but still down almost 50%. This is always a risk in these type of biopharma names. If you rely on one or two drugs in your pipeline, when something reports badly, the name can be under a tremendous amount of pressure there. You know, we're showing on the big board the chip space very weak. I mean, NVIDIA down, AMD down, and all these are names that we look at every single day. In the midst of what had been a strong rally after the Fed had raised their rates, it's been a pretty poor week for NVIDIA and the bunch. What are our thoughts going into this close? Because it's not as if they're going to go sideways here.
Yeah, first of all, we'll flush ourselves down the toilet because, yeah, Crowdstrike could not hold this move down in the market where the NASDAQ now trying to maybe go back to day's low. So, unfortunately, Crowdstrike does hit that level, and there it is. We lost $1 there on Crowdstrike. Actually, pretty good executions and everything. I should have actually adjusted it a little bit more because we should have really been out at 20, but it doesn't matter. In Crowdstrike, out, never really worked for us. The most it went in money was 40 cents. So we could have took it, but again, we'll take that one on the chin as the market continues to move to the downside. We did reload Robinhood, but yeah, look, I think we can just look at a broader level here for AMD. We had a couple good shorts, a couple good longs in here as well. AMD working today, but you know, this is the one-day chart for AMD. You are getting very, very close to crack. Whoa. Oh, man, we have that bad wick there, but here you go. It's good enough. You're getting very close to that 100 mark. I mean, we're right there right now. So we're at $100.67. This is the bottom for AMD. We also made this bottom back in September, again before as well. So you're going way back, playback for a lot of these semis. And I don't know, I'm a buyer of these names, but you can see how they move with the market. Despite us not being near the NASDAQ bottom again, you know, these names are at those bottoms. So I don't know. I feel like this is much weaker than the market. Obviously, they're the ones coming with huge PEs. You can look at another name like NVIDIA. I'm a buyer on all of these dips. Honestly, I've been buying SMH rather than individual names. I'm already loaded up if this loads. I'm already sort of in NVIDIA and AMD. Those are the two big ones for me. I don't hold Micron or Intel, or there's so many. Taiwan Semi, there's so many. So that's why I'm just going to go with SMH. You could see AMD relatively weak compared to NVIDIA. NVIDIA looking still a few more dollars down, man. You're looking at 210-ish before we break those bottoms. So AMD is 60 cents away. NVIDIA is about $20 away, which is still 10% down. So if I could choose one to invest in right now, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to make some plays, it would be on NVIDIA just because, again, it's a little stronger. They have a few deals through that we've mentioned before. There's a split adjusted price. So you're still not back down near where it's split adjusted to 191, but you are getting closer and closer to that number as opposed to the SMH here, which is on the NASDAQ as well. My average price on this is around where we are now. We were buying at the bottoms down in here, but we also were buying in here as well. So watch out, SMH also near some of those bottoms of this 240-ish area. So yeah, my average price right now getting hit. So watch out for this coming back through. I'm a buyer of these. I believe in the metaverse. I don't know when it's going to happen exactly, but we already know about chip shortages. So I'm protecting SMH. And I think if you're going to buy any dips, I would start to put some money to work right now in the semis. But hey, you have to have a longer term approach.
Yeah, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get too deep into that one because I think Sean covered all the bases in terms of semis and chips.
Just very quickly here, guys, we're going to get to frustrating stocks, but MDVL just rug pulled a little bit there. If we can go to my chart for a quick second, guys. We're sitting around VWAP, and it just flooded from 230 down into $2, resisting a halt, it looks like. So a big move to the downside there. There was also completely unrelated, but I threw it in the chat there. I'm going to quickly get to this news story. Just hit the wire. EU agrees to freeze assets of Sberbank's boss and Putin's daughter. So we know that we're going to be following headlines with regards to what's going on in the Ukraine, and I guess further escalation of some of those sanctions can be seen as a negative for the overall market. I don't know if that's what caused a recent spike just to the downside there, but some of the chip names do fall into that category as being affected by the conflict or the war going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Frustrating stocks, eh?
Also, Bitcoin heading downside a little bit right now as well, as Neil's talking about chip stocks again. Yeah, the NASDAQ making new lows, well, close to anyways.
14.2, that's going to be the important number on the NASDAQ. If we can take that, watch out.
Okay, so 14.2, maybe if you can get a chart up for that and maybe explain why that was so key there. But there's Bitcoin. Bitcoin, for some reason, just went down to 42.2 there and now starting to bounce back up. So watch out for this 43 level if you're trading Bitcoin. It could be another level there, but it just went to the downside. What did ETH do? Ethereum here. Let's see what that did right now on the similar move. Oh, this is a 1 minute. Let's just refresh it. Okay, Ethereum didn't. Is this accurate? April 8th? Yeah, okay. A nice move down here to 3,200 again. So not as drastic of a move on Ethereum that there was just there on Bitcoin, a possible little flush out there. So yeah, just to update you guys on crypto, I thought it was moving a little bit more because I saw that Bitcoin move right here. But yeah, I guess, I don't know if that was just an anomaly there, but we just went down to 42.2 again there on BTC.
All right, the reason I said 14.2 on NASDAQ was that's been the support point that I've been working with. Any sort of movement into this area south of 14.4 opens up the door for potential long if you get the setup. We saw it yesterday where it just snapped back very quickly. Saw it again earlier today. We snapped back. We caught resistance up top. Now we're coming back into the zone the second time. Keep an eye on this. If we can grind through this area and get through 14.2, which is about 150 points away, this market doesn't really have much stopping it from going all the way down to 14,000. So it's going to be critical. It's a Friday too. We could easily accelerate with NASDAQ being down 1.28 on the day. We could accelerate into the end of the day. That's something to keep an eye on, but that 14.2 needs to hold for any chance of a bounce today going into next week. Remember, next week is a shortened week with the holiday, right? So that's definitely something to watch, especially how we close the day today. When it comes to frustrating stocks, the only one, I mean, I haven't been that active. You see me, I just got out of Disney. Crowdstrike, we made money on, obviously. The one that I guess would be frustrating for me would, and not even team, I'm okay with a team loss, but SST. This is the one where we were working shorts yesterday because of the way it was moving up. So I was looking for shorts, trying to go for that, pop off towards the end of the day as shorts were getting out. That never happened. Came into today. We were working with that 31. Looked like we had a chance to build up some action and actually get going towards the highs, which was 37, I believe. And then we kind of did absolutely nothing. It was good for that opening push for $1.50, I think it was at the time. And then instantly we just lost that 31 again. I got out. I'm like, you know what? I don't even need to let it hit the stop. I'm just going to take the hit. I just walked away from it, and then about 10 minutes later, you see this movement all the way up to 34, and then that failed again too. That failure the second time would be a great short, but again, you got to pay for those shorts. That's not happening. But I think for me, the fact that I was short yesterday and made like 3 cents, and then today I was up $1.50, ended up losing like about $1 or so, and then it just takes off to the downside. Yeah, that's the frustrating one for me.
All right, I was trying to find a frustrating stock for me, really, and I don't really have one too frustrating. I mean, obviously, I was pretty frustrated with that move there on Crowdstrike, but again, the market did come back in. I'll just talk about Tesla quickly because we did have it on our sticky note today, and it was mentioned up here that we'd have to watch out for that 1072 key level there. That never came in, but then we did also highlight earlier that, if this market does fade, there was some pretty key levels that we should have been hitting here on Tesla. We talked about the pre-market bottom right there. It came, bounced off, then the second test back down into the downside there. This nice little bottom of 1025. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of picking at things here, but this is going to be very, very key here for Tesla, man. You already go back all the way to the 24th, 25th. The last time we were sub 1020. So if you get to that level, I mean, we're not too far away from that rate now, man. So watch out for this 1020 to come through. And it's just like Tesla the last couple of days has been really on the downside. So any kind of fade has been working for you on Tesla. So I really feel like, around that 1050 level today could have been something that you look at. We always look at even penny levels and especially even dollar $10 level. So that 1050 is right here. That was a nice little dump back. And then the break of 1050 again, I guess could have been okay. And we're kind of hovering now to that downside here in Tesla. So I'm not frustrated with it because I didn't trade it. But at the same time, you know, there was some opportunities there and we can't hit them all. But Tesla should have been one. Maybe that we had to look at. I mean, the EV space has been a little tricky. So I don't really have too many frustrating stocks, but I could go over PaySafe, which we have a light position now and waiting to see if we get back into here. They changed up their management. So right away, almost as soon as Neil brought us that story at 9:35, we were like, okay, I'll take it. And then we got 2 pennies out of it. And then it just downside, able to relieve some pressure there. Bought back in there, out there. And now we're holding the last little piece. So I would say now that I look at this, probably PaySafe a little more frustrating. But still, one and the same, PaySafe and Tesla. Both not really doing, well, I mean, Tesla's doing something, but PaySafe just a little disappointing because we thought there'd be more action today.
Yeah, sometimes there are frustrating stocks. I have one, but it's not about the stock that was frustrating. You gave a talk with our new traders there, Sean, and when I was talking to the same group, one of the things I mentioned to them is make sure you get to know the platform because that is something you can control. You can control the platform, your keyboard setup, be familiar with it so that you don't make mistakes. Now, you might have noticed I'm sitting in Brendan's seat, which means I'm using his layout to trade and both give you guys the news. And there are a few settings which I imported in, like my keyboard setting, but one that was not in my keyboard setting is the auto cancel feature. And I'll show you why that was a problem this morning. Because I liked MDVL, short off the high of the day. We talked about the lower high put in. You've probably seen it a million times. I'll usually try and offer at the lower high, consolidate down. So we had offers out there around 5 and 6, and then down there at about 2 even. But I got in position at 190. Now, usually when auto cancel is set up, default in my settings, if I get the first fill, my other offers would have canceled. Now, clearly you should always understand your own orders that are out to the market. There are no excuses for that kind of a thing, but they did not. So when the open hit, all my offers from the pre-market that I was attempting to get into all filled in just a couple of minutes, and then I got one big stop. I was able to sort of go back into normal trading on the name, but it's just one tiny little mistake, right? If you get an adjustment, maybe you're trading on vacation at a different location. Maybe you've done something, maybe you've changed platforms or changed brokers. Whatever it might be, familiarize yourself first and take things a little bit slower when you start out because these things can happen to absolutely anybody. It was a new change for me. I didn't even really trade yesterday, and today came right back on and opened up with a bit of a mistake. So you can control your platform, you can control understanding your key setup and your surroundings. That's what we always talk about, having a comfortable layout. It does matter.
It definitely does. Keyboard mistakes are dangerous. There's the other day, what trade was I in the other day where I ended up like a 5-cent hit in the pre-market because I was trying
Costco.
Was it Costco? I was trying to change the price and I accidentally sent it for the shares. And I instantly got filled, and the spread on Costco in the pre-market is just like, whatever, it's crazy. And then that's what you want to avoid. Those mistakes, those eventually, those are hits that you don't need. I would rather have that cash in a trade where I know this is the read I want to take, and it doesn't work out. That's fine. But those kind of mistakes, you try to avoid them as much as possible. Especially at the beginning, you got to know your system. There's been times where you set up the keys the wrong way and you press the wrong one. So you got to know your layout, depending on if you have a keyboard platform like ours is based on the keyboard. If you have a mouse one, you got to make sure you don't double click on the price that you want to send the order at. Just know it, because that is unnecessary waste of cash when it comes to trading. That part you can take up. The trading side, you got to learn and whatnot, and over time you'll figure that out. But the platform side, know the platform inside and out before sending an actual order, and eventually building up the confidence to actually send larger orders, because those are killers, especially when you want to go long and you accidentally go short because you're not paying attention, or you thought you sent an order some way and didn't go out that way. All been done many, many times. I've done it so many times, and even now I make mistakes like the share thing, right? Instead of prices, you make share, or you send it for shares instead of prices. And it's just ridiculous, but definitely try and avoid those mistakes.
No, yeah, just quickly here, new position on Hood. We're averaging into this short. We'll see about an 11.50 break. And we just took AMD long off this 100. So 2 positions that we have on for you right now. Fresh positions, short Robinhood and long AMD. Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, we got a big mover here. Pharmaceuticals here. They just saw positive new preclinical data showing for the PH894. It's Look, I'm not even going to bother reading the rest of that one for you guys, but the real story here is breaking out in a monster way here, up 100%. They just made a big move on high volume through 150. I love these types of breaks because you took out $1 even on the daily. You consolidated, double top, broke 150. So if you can guess what number might be significant next, probably that $2 mark. So good catalyst, huge volume, up 100%. PHIO. Watch out for that one.
PHIO. Okay. Yeah, we are. I mean, right now I'm focused on the positions that I do have on board right now, including this AMD trade. It just touched. Like I should have got some out there at that 50 period. That's normally a trade for me. We're only long at 66, and that would have been 86. So it would have been 20 pennies. Hey, but you know what? Like a win is a win. And again, we always talk about this on the show, and I know we're gonna have Frank coming up soon. And I know that if you're an experienced trader, you really got to trade what you do best, and that's what's so good about having the small exchange come on here. If you're looking to trade, and I know you trade the futures, obviously, Arun, as well, know where the best fee structures are, understand what you trade best, and then, for some people, taking $1, is what they're looking for. And again, it's going to be your risk reward, the kind of structure that you're in there, and what you're looking for as far as the trade is concerned. So for me, we'll just take a piece out right there for 60 cents and see if we can't hold the rest for AMD. And at the same time, let's build a bigger position if we do get closer to that $100 mark here for AMD. So advanced micro devices starting to go back to the upside a little bit here. And then we're just going to milk this Robinhood trade if we can. If it can come back in, we might just turn out to be a scalper here. The bottom for Robinhood's 11.25, and I do want to respect this top though. So if we do take out 11.50, then we will be out of this. But I do have a couple more bullets to fire in here in the mid 40s to get a good, better average price here if we do start to go back up to the upside. But as you're seeing, I'm kind of hedged. AMD long, Robinhood short. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but if the futures do go to the upside, at least we have AMD, which should be a banger.
AMD is part of the index. Robinhood is not, or even if it's not, it's not a major portion. So it's perfectly fine. It should run on its own regardless of what the market does. Yeah. So at this point, you're just waiting. A lot of confusion about what I was referring to when I said 14.2. Guys, I'm referring to the NASDAQ futures contract that is trading at 14,360 right now. I'm talking about 14,200 as the level. The only time I would ever refer to prices as 14.2 or 14.4 is when it gets into like something like that where it's 14,000, right? So 14,200 is going to be the critical daily level on the NASDAQ. If we can actually hold above that and hold strong, we have a chance to bounce. If we end up losing another 150 points on the day, we're already down 1.2. If we lose another 150 on the day and it gets through 14.2 going into the weekend, that's a problem. So here we are just kind of waiting this one out. And as I said earlier, I was just going to go through Prad's trades. And this was Prad. He said it to me. He started trading the futures. He's trading the micros. He wants me to kind of look at it and see what he did. That's a lot of activity, but I mean, for the most part, if I don't know the reasoning, it's going to be very hard to kind of make up for it. But it does look like there was a decent long north of 44.90. That's a great run. And then it looks like he picked up some shorts around that 45.15. So another great run to the short side. So Prad stepping up his micro futures trading side of things. So he's going down that same road. And hopefully, he gets to that point where he sees it much clearer. He's saying that he's able to see the market a little bit more clear now. So more experience. It just goes to show, right? He hasn't traded futures until recently, I believe. He just started.
Yeah, he's wanting to get into the game.
Yeah. So now he's doing pretty well, it seems like. So we'll see how that goes for him.
There's a lot of benefits to trading the futures, and you've talked about that a little bit. And I don't think there's a better segue for this one, perhaps, than to introduce a small exchange, Frank Caberna with Neil. Let's go over to Neil at the big desk.
It is absolutely perfect, Sean. It is the right segue to bring Frank back to us here, Frank Caberna from the small exchange, to talk a little bit of a higher time frame here. And welcome, Frank. Glad to have you back. I see you've somehow managed to have a more fun shirt than me today, which I didn't think was going to be possible. But look, this week we had the Fed meeting minutes. We're going to get that runoff that everyone's talking about. And if I have to hear another analyst mention to me how the bond market gets it, but the stock market doesn't. I mean, I've been hearing that all week. So, once again, here we are, everyone concerned with or talking about yields and inversions. It seems like that's the overreaching theme in these markets.
Yeah, a lot going on in the interest rate market. Thanks so much for having me here, Neil. Before getting to that, I didn't mean to put you on notice with this shirt, man. It's not a competition. We both can rock the colors here on Friday afternoon. Either way, though, you have a yield curve market that maybe bonds get it and stocks don't. I don't really care because we can go trade bonds and we can trade stocks separately. Let's take a look at this bond market, specifically the yield curve that we've been eyeing for a couple of weeks now. We've been talking about with Brendan, especially the chances of getting to an inverted yield curve, Neil. And we got there on Friday of last week into Monday of this week, but we were there for just a brief second. The yield curve inverted and then taketh away very, very quickly. We got inverted by about 5 basis points between the 10-year and the 2-year, and then ripped right back here to about 2 or 3 basis points of difference now on the normal side of things, Neil. Now, this was a quick inversion that if you blinked too long, you may have missed if you weren't trading it Friday afternoon and Monday morning. That being said, I don't know if we're necessarily out of the woods yet in terms of yield curve inversion. We very well might get back down there. And what I mean by that is 2-year rates back on top of 10-year rates. But what's going to be really interesting to me is how this inversion will affect interest rates moving forward. Because yes, you can trade the spread here, but more commonly, you can get your hands dirty, get your feet wet in the outrights themselves. And let's start by taking a look at that 2-year in particular. Will this 2-year give back some of its gains? A lot of the inversion talk that we've seen and the inversion that we saw on Friday and Monday was because of the run up in twos, not necessarily that 10s or 30s were coming lower, but that twos went from less than 1 percentage point in rates to well over 2 percentage points here. Will the 2-year give up some ground? We could see that. Historically, the 3 inversions that we've seen since the year 2000, Neil, we've seen that 2-year come up and outpace the 10-year, and that's been the source of that inversion. And then swiftly afterwards, those 2-year rates have come down. But you can't necessarily hang your hat on that. You could see this 10-year piece move higher as well. Both of these ideas do bank on us getting away from that inversion back to normal. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's either 2 years heading lower, Neil, or the 10-year piece heading higher. If we do move on to that slide, you'll see that we got inverted and then got out of it because this 10-year strength that we're seeing, new highs in that 10-year rate, even as we speak, being quoted above 2.7%. So it's going to be a really interesting battle here. Yes, we might get back to an inverted yield curve briefly. We were only there for all of 2 trading days, but I'm really having a lot of fun selling that 2-year, trying to take some profits as it moves lower a little bit and riding this 10-year higher. That's been the side of this market that I've been on for the last couple of weeks, just starting to turn around in my favor as I did get run over a little bit going into that inversion. But both those characters will definitely be relevant as we maybe see another inversion, but maybe we don't. Maybe it was just those 2 days. The last inversion we saw in 2019, we were only there for 3 days. But either way, it'll be a really interesting market to watch and hopefully one to trade there with your 2-year and 10-year pieces.
Yeah, and look, everyone's been talking about it, and I think that's why we have to go over it. I love the fact that you dig in. You don't just observe it, right? You have the opportunity to play in some of these moves. Now, I was filling in for Brendan and doing our currency segment this morning, and was noting a little bit of strength came back into the U.S. dollar. I know every single time traders hear, they're like, "Oh goodness, we hate it when the Canadian dollar is strong because trade mostly U.S. markets, and then you get paid a commission on it." But what do you see as you're seeing some strength come back into it recently? Like, do you think this is a trend that has a chance to continue? I know it's only a little bit so far.
Yeah, this has been an interesting one because I try to derive some correlations between strength in the yield market, or as we head towards inversion, is that good for US dollar? Is it bad for US dollar? But really, no matter what we've seen in US interest rates the last couple of weeks here, it's been good for that US dollar. I do think it's been a little too good for this US dollar, as I actually have some shorts in this market right around here at the highs. It looks like we're going to close out at highs in this SFX product, the small US dollar futures, since the summer of 2020. So blowing out the highs here to end the week. I don't think that it's here to last. A lot of the run up in US dollar is on the back of US rates moving higher and US rates moving higher at a higher pace than, the Canadian central bank, than the European central bank, than the Bank of England, Bank of Japan, and everywhere else. And thus the US currency moves higher than those respective foreign currencies there. But I think we're going to continue to see hawkish ideas from the Bank of England, from the Canadian Central Bank, from the ECB as well. And I could see some downside in this US dollar. And that's why I've got shorts on in here. And if you wanted to hedge a little bit of that long interest rate exposure that you may have out there, or some of the long tenure that I know I have in my portfolio, some short US dollar I think is a good pairing as well, especially here at these high prices, as short-term rates do cool a little bit here in the US. I don't think we could see a sustainable, new high in USD week after week like we've been seeing the last couple of weeks.
I love it, putting that trade on there, Frank. Just maybe your final thoughts here, or just even talking a little bit about crude, maybe, because there was that breakdown below 100, right? And then there was a recent bottom being made. And I was trading Oxy today. We trade equities here, and slight bounce back. Some of the equity names looking pretty strong, but relatively strong as a sector. We still have a lot of headlines coming through. Clearly, there's about 5 or 6 big headlines every single day, or that we get out of the Ukraine. But do you see this as we have a temporary bottom here in oil? Was that it? Are we headed back?
I think we can say that 90 seems to be the temporary bottom in crude oil. If we do throw to the platform quite quickly here, I've got the small crude product up, and you can see since the Russian-Ukraine action started in March, end of February, start of March there, obviously we've got the spikes in crude and those energy stocks like you quoted there, Neil. But what's been interesting is when some of that sentiment dissipates a little bit and we start to think, okay, maybe there will be enough supply of crude, maybe we can get past some of these problems in Russia and Ukraine, how they could affect energy stocks and energy in general. They haven't been able to break that 90. In fact, you've been able to buy 90s a couple of times in crude oil or thereabouts, with the market bouncing back to 100 here. I think you could say the same for energy stocks. You're seeing the bid in there. XLE, I'm seeing, is up almost 3% going into the weekend. So for me, it's a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Every time we see crude travel down to $92, $93 a barrel, or you see some of these energy stocks getting to similar levels, I'm looking at trying to catch that bounce until it breaks those levels and shows me, all right, we're done with this trade. But until then, yeah, I'm trading crude oil, buying near 90s, selling above $103, $104 a barrel. I don't think we're getting back to 120. But that seems to be the new range. And if you're holding out for 80s or 70s in crude, I don't think you're going to get them in the coming weeks. I think we're going to sit around these ranges for a little bit.
Trading around the ranges, support and resistance. You speak our language right there, Frank. I love to see it. Maybe before you get you out of here, don't want to keep it too long. It's Friday, the weekend's coming up. But if we could talk maybe a little bit about the metals. And obviously, oil has been strong, but materials have been in play as well. And whether you can pick, there's been a lot of fun around nickel, but certainly has been anything that stood out for you in the metals or any of the materials in particular that you've seen as a fantastic trading vehicle. Of course, I know you look at some of these as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really hoping that metals can wake up a little bit to the tune that foreign exchange has. I don't need a new high in gold. I don't need 2,000 or 2,100s to be trading the metals markets, but they have kind of coiled into the center of their recent range in terms of gold and silver. We have the small precious metals here. If we go to the platform that has gold and silver packaged in one futures product, and you saw the high at the same time as crude there, as fear really started to kick in around Russia and Ukraine, but we haven't gotten anywhere near those highs in metals like we have in crude. This is, if anything, commodity, sibling to crude oil, but not showing nearly as much energy as that market. Didn't even mean to necessarily do that. And so I'm just looking for a run up back to near $2,000 in gold to try to get something on to try to trade that range in this commodity market. But honestly, vol has come off considerably. We actually had some short strangles on in this precious metals futures options market that came in nice, took profits there. And I'm really looking for gold and silver to take a leg lower or get back to around $2,000 in gold until I commit any further action. I'm pretty flat right now in that whole asset class, to be honest.
Thank you very much. I love your thoughts there, Frank. So there it is. Frank Cabrera, Director, Product, Content, and Creative at the Small Exchange. Last thing before we get you out of here, Cubs or White Sox?
White Sox, man. Come on. I grew up on the South Side. Love the White Sox. I was around for the 05 World Series. We were just chopping it up here with our CEO, Donnie Roberts. He's an East Coast dude, but he knows what team it is here in Chicago. It's the White Sox, baby. Why? What's the feeling around there? You got any allegiances here in Chicago?
Look, I'm a Blue Jays fan being here in Toronto, but I've only been to Wrigley. I've never actually seen the White Sox play. I do love the White Sox, however, because I was a huge Frank Thomas fan when I was younger. I will tell you, Sox up 3-0. Over Detroit, and the Cubs are rained out on their opener. So there you go. You should be happy about that, Frank. Thanks again.
That's how we do it, baby. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, hopefully they get another World Series here for the Big Hurt, for our favorite guy, huh?
I love it. All right, take care, buddy.
See you, man.
There we go. A bit of a higher level look at what's going on in the futures. Of course, you can trade them in the small exchange. We have Arun talking about the market moving. And guess what? It is still moving. I'm going to go right to one name that we brought to you before we went to Frank, and that PHIO. It did get to $2. Sometimes it's not complicated. $1 was the breakout on the daily chart. It then consolidated at $1.50. It then ran exactly to $2 or pretty much close to it, $1.98, and is starting to pull back. So there's quite a lot moving right now. What are you guys into? I do see AMD still on there for you, Sean.
Yeah, so shout out to Frank and to you, Neil. Yeah, the Big Hurt, of course. A lot of love for him in Toronto. Frank Thomas came here, played the last couple of years in Toronto, so that was good. Not the last couple of years, but 10 years ago or whatever it was. I used to have a Big Hurt little. They gave them out at a Jays game. It was like the eyes patches there. It said Big Hurt on it. Pretty funny. I think I still have them at home. But yeah, no, I still have the AMD. So we went long here off of $100 basically. We took that $100.67 out. Those are 3 outs. We actually got the top there. And yeah, so we're still holding, but we're only holding 40% of this trade right now. And yeah, it's working. So good. And I got out because we went up to VWAP there. So we took 20 cents shy of VWAP, but hey, either way, man, that's a long at $100.66. That out right there is 40. So it's a good little take there, 80 cents to the upside. We did like normal, man. Out first time for 20 cents, out again at 101 flat, I guess, and then the next piece out right there. But we have been taking a short, and I know Arun, and I actually was whispering to Arun, I was like, do you still like the short there? Because we got that monster move, like, I think you need to throw a slipper at me, Arun. That move up there, it felt like it was a big move back up to the upside, but now that I expanded out and look, not really, man. We just went back to where we were at 130, but the pressure's still on this market to the downside, so I'm happy getting out of the AMD trade. We may average back into it, but what we've been doing here, and I told you, before we went to Frank, we were in that position, then we got another one, and then we got another one, and we're bumping up to 1150, so this could get turned around for us. We're 3 cents out. We're 2.5 cents out. My actual position is 40.5 right now. So I don't know what it shows up there, but 40.5 is my position on Robinhood, a little bit north of that actually. So yeah, I'm hoping that this comes back in. I will take a piece out if we get back to 40. I trust the market to come down, man. I mean, I trust Arun's read as well. So, and again, it's not, we trade our own books here, but I feel like into a Friday, I don't know, the rhetoric here, I just feel like Russia's nowhere near being solved. Oil bouncing around. We just heard some stuff there from Frank about the 2 and the 10s. So for me, I think the market does head a little bit south here, and maybe even south next week as well. The NASDAQ now ticking down that 4 to 5% for the week. So I'm going to think that we do have a sell-off into the close. With that being said, I'm going to get one more piece out here of this name. It's a 50-cent winner for AMD. We'll hold the last 20% just in case we moon to cover some of that hood loss that will happen if we do moon from here. So let's get another piece out of AMD right now for 50 cents. We'll put that winner on in the board. And yes, we'll count that one there. And then we'll hope that Robinhood falls back down. So let's take a piece out right now for AMD.
I always wince when someone's like, well, based on a runes read, I'm feeling this one too. I'm just like, no. But
no.
But it's just, my whole thing is like, I'm just doing what I do and I'm perfectly okay taking the hits that I take.
Exactly.
But it's just when other people start looking at that and going, oh yeah, I agree. It's just like, well, you got to look at for yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to see what the market's on the table, what's bringing it to the table. What's up?
No, I was going to say another thing too is that you're straight trading the futures, right? Like AMD is a separate equity name, also bouncing off a key level, right? So, but yes, good point there.
Yeah, so it's just, for me, it's just like, in the chat as well, it's like, oh, Arun was on this trade and then that trade and that was frustrating. But at the same time, you're not managing what I'm doing. You're not.
You don't know they don't know the risk associated.
Yeah, you don't know the risk associated with it. There's a lot that goes into it that it's very hard to go step for step with, right? And then you got to be able to handle the, people call me a robot. I can handle these hits, I guess. But at the same time, that's just me. All right, can you do that too? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered before going.
But there's a point of being robotic. I mean, that is the whole point of it. Is that, and I talked about this with the class, right? Is that. Part of what we're doing here, obviously we're making trades, we're putting on the line real capital, right? And so when I get excited and things like that, a lot of it is just the moves that are happening in the market. We want to, entertain you guys and let you know that we're making money or losing money. I get just as excited when I lose. Trust me, you've seen me throw stuff. Just as excited when I lose as to I win. And I think, honestly, that's one aspect. There's a lot of aspects of Arun that we should all, work into our trading. But really, sort of that roboticness is what I'm trying to also put into my portfolio. And that is to watch some of these trades work out and just say, if this, then that. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I'm 5 cents in the money, I'm out. It's like, part of it has to be put into your trading platform, into your repertoire and sort of, a tool in your box. And I think that's definitely something that a lot of us should probably learn and respect out of what you're doing.
But that's the thing too, right? It's just, for me, I'm just trying to show what people are, what I'm doing. That's essentially it. I just got to verbalize what I'm doing. Am I trying to educate? Yeah, here and there, I'll throw in something, but I'm just trying to trade on camera. I'm not. It's a little different for me. So it's just, it may go well, it may not go well, but at the same time, hey, listen, I believe I heard from Sean, in May, Prad moves up to the big desk here.
Yes,
We've got the second desk, and then Prad's going to have a second partner, I believe, and that's being worked out. It ain't going to be me. So you guys will have all that settled out by the time May comes around. So it'll all be fixed out. Don't you worry about it. For now, it's going to deal with me.
We're not worried about Prad.
For now, just deal with me. And then in May, you guys can have your new person. You guys can reach out.
Hold on. There's nobody new coming in May or anything like that. We do have the desk set up. So what's happening is, I don't know if you guys have the shot? I don't think you have the shot. Right now it's messy. Mark's stuff is on there. But we're building the same desk as we have now for Prad and Valeria just to the left of us. There it is. Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, okay.
Oh, they got the camera up.
So see how it's the same stuff there? Ooh, the camera's working. Look at that.
Yeah.
So it's the same view, just like 8 feet that way, basically. So you know what's going to make Arun, and you're going to come back no matter what when we do
when you take days
holidays
off,
and things
I
like
guess.
that. But check that.
Maybe.
But look at that. You have a direct slipper shot. It's like bang, right there. It's like you don't have to go over computers or anything. That's the thing that I'm excited about. As long as Valeria is closest to me, that's all that that's a good shot right there. You see, boom, right there. And because I want to do that high five. I want to do some stuff with Miss V as well. So I'm going to be selfish and keep her to myself. Neil on this side, Miss V over there. So
no, Prad's not going to need a slipper because you know what's going to happen? I'm here for another
sledgehammer for Prad.
I'm going to be here for another 4 days. By the time the next week is done, he's going to make sure that a slipper doesn't get delivered.
Don't ever do that again, Lucas.
He does seem like he's improving in his trading, so slippers may need to be put back on the rack there and just wait a little bit.
The rack.
Are we going to Valeria?
We are.
We are. Valeria, what's up?
And I am the one who will be sitting closer to you. I'm super happy about that too. And guys, around 1 hour left until all of us are gone for the weekend. And I made a poll on the chat. How does next week look to you guys? We have 3 options: positive, negative, choppy. For now, choppy is winning, but maybe everything can change by the end of this day. So please participate in the poll and also smash the like button. Today is Friday and the best day to get us 1K likes or even more. Back to you guys.
I like that. I like, shout out to John C right there. He's like, you know what? We should get a slipper cannon as opposed to this guy, the firing off the hot dogs. That's supposed to be a hot dog cannon, but I don't mind what was built there for that one as well. But there could be one of you like throwing something at Brad. That's not horrible. That's not horrible because right now we just have the pew and then of course Neil wearing the pineapple pizza in support of his pineapple pizza. So there it is right there. That's on there as well.
The only modification that needs to be done on that one specifically, instead of a margarita pizza, make it a Hawaiian.
I know.
Swap out
it should
the pizza.
be a Hawaiian pizza. What is that? No, it's not really.
It's a margarita.
Is that a margarita?
Yeah, it's a margarita. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was green onion or not, but I think you're right on that one. So our green pepper, sorry, on that one. We're just busting around with Neil. Everyone knows he does not prefer pineapple on pizza.
It's not
preference.
It's not a pizza if it has pineapple on it.
No, that's just not.
There's no half stepping about this. There's no ambiguity. It is not a pizza if it has pineapple on it. And Sean, I've said this many times. You're Italian. You know what's good.
But he also likes pineapple on pizza.
I do.
So how are you going to argue that?
I'm not saying it's authentic Italian or anything. Oh, I didn't put any makeup on today. I feel like I'm.
Okay, so if you're going to say no to pineapple, how do you feel about
I did it again, by the way.
Arugula and pears? And
yes.
prosciutto, right?
Of course, I'm down with prosciutto on pizza with arugula,
he doesn't like pineapple.
Pear. You have some. But Neil's a different beast, okay? So let's just let's move on from that one. But just as spirited as our.
He also likes Batman, so does he really know
here
what
we go. Here we go. You're welcome, by the way, guys. But here we go. Yeah. You guys want to do the bucka?
Oh yeah. So Neil was saying how Batman is a better superhero because he trained and he gets beaten up and all that stuff. And I'm just like, that's because Iron Man is just smart enough not to get beaten up. He built a suit not to get beaten up.
Whatever, man. Batman actually is like he's a real hero. Like he gets down and dirty, man. He's not killing anybody.
Parents were murdered.
Look, I'm just simply saying it's Batman all the way, and I don't even think it's not even close. Like I'm sure the chat would just be all over with me. I get it. Sometimes I'm controversial with what I like and what I don't like, but this is an easy one, man. Like that's like to me, Batman versus Iron Man is a little bit like saying Tesla versus Rivian.
Wow.
That's shots fired.
Are you really gonna put
what are we talking about here?
Rivian delivering this many vehicles.
But why we're talking about this is because
the
market's doing absolutely nothing. That's why we're going down this road. Just to update, Etsy's in the money 40 cents, HPQ's in the money 70 cents. Great. But at the end of the day, Iron Man's better than Batman. We can talk about all that.
I think Neil just Gronk spiked you on that one.
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
Neil, let's not upset Arun, man.
No, it's not even about that.
Ooh, look at this look right there. Where is that one at? That was a good.
Oh, that's the third camera. That's their camera.
There, getting ready for the Bradley show right there.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, that's what we're talking about.
Brad is going to become. We're talking about Iron Man and Batman.
Look at this. Give Lucas a raise.
Brad's going to become Slipperman soon. So we'll see where that goes. Slipperman for Brad. That's going to be his new alter ego. So you guys can go and roll with that because he was Platinum Brad for a good 2 hours, and then he decided to put on his hat and grow out his hair. So.
And by the way, Rivian does deliver vehicles. They're on track to deliver an amazing 25,000 vehicles. So, but remember too, Tesla versus Rivian. Let's go back into trading right now because Rivian, we've been shorting that name for a while. Rivian through $40, and we're just playing around with that Tesla versus Rivian comparison there. One is a brand new company. One's been around for decades. So So let's wait to see what happens here with Rivian now coming back down to the downside. This is a name that we've got to pay for short still, but we are near the all-time low for Rivian. 37.52. So for me, I'm going to be continuously looking for shorts in Rivian as that comes through here. And you can see you don't really go too wrong with shorts on Rivian, especially if you get back to that $40 level. We did tick out to 41 and change there on RIVN. So for me right now, again, not much of a trade coming out right now on Rivian. I'm just focused on, we've averaged in to Robinhood. That's come back in a little bit and relieved some pressure for us. So again, not losing on anything right now. AMD, we did take a piece out there, and we do have Robinhood, and we do have Miss V coming to throw some fire at Tesla, I hope.
Sean, actually, I wanted to bring some statistics into your pineapple pizza conversation. So according to this image, majority of Canadian provinces say pineapple belongs on pizza except for Quebec, which is French province. Sorry.
I don't normally press animations, but I'm just going to press one animation when we come back to me. Because Neil has gotten out of his desk. He's gotten up. If we can show the desk real quick, because Neil's not even at the desk. He's just walked away. He left Valeria
Neil's looking for Slipper, man.
On her own. He's gone.
There's Neil. Yo, what's up, Neil?
Hey, Neil.
Hey,
Neil, where's your pineapple
Neil,
pizza?
Nothing to say now,
But you know
Neil.
what? It's officially case closed because the country has decided.
Wow, Arun hits a case.
The country has decided 2-1. Pineapple pizza
It's over.
is a thing.
It's over.
There you go. That's
now.
it. That's it.
I've never seen Arun hit an animation other than pew pew.
Yep.
And he just closed that case on you, Neil. So hey, look, man, this is going to be a really fun rivalry moving forward, and especially if I'm here to sort of puppeteer this.
You
This
disturb
has
the
been,
pot?
Yeah, the shit disturber. I talked about that. Oops, I mean disturber. I mean. Okay, let's check out something else here. What did you just say there? Oh, Chicago deep dish. Hell yeah. I mean, we're not. All right. Oh God. All right.
No, this is serious, guys. LAC, Lithium Americas just made a big move here, up about $1.50. Just broke out on big volume. I'm going to check the wires, see what just happened. But LAC, big move. We know lithium's a big deal. We were just talking about EVs, completely random, by the way. And yes, deep dish is amazing. It's the best out there.
Yeah, when Trader TV goes to Chicago, we will do a convention, and it'll be deep dish pineapple pizza. No, I don't think you put pineapple pizza on deep dish, but
I agree with someone who said it's more like a lasagna. That's a complete meal. One slice is like a complete meal. I don't know if that's pizza anymore.
If people on the chat are taking down like a medium deep dish pizza or something, even a small by themselves, wow. Yeah, that'd be good. I can do that. Okay, so let's just go back to some trading here as we go. And again, thank you. We're having fun here on a Friday, as you guys know. Thank you so much for joining us again with only 50 minutes left in your week. It's been a very, very aggressive and active week. Needless to say, I'm not too happy with trading today because, again, the future's like up, down, psyching you out. Nope, doesn't that. But we're going to stay with what we believe is true here on Robinhood. We were trading this all day today, man. And I really think that heading into the close, this is a name that I'm happy to take short. I don't feel like, if this market falls, why would Robinhood go up? So I like the short in the market. We are holding, of course, AMD right now. Sorry, there's AMD. We're holding AMD as it's starting to bump back up a little bit here. To the upside one more time. So 101.40. That was LAC. I think it's on New York. We'll go to Neil in a second. I just want to look at this 31.40 here. Starting to go. Let's see, that's a big candle. Okay, chart. Yeah, okay, nice little bump up there, up to 32. This name probably, again, back down to VWAP 31. I think worth testing. What's up, Neil?
Yeah, you're going to get a chance to look at my tweet deck here, but Elon Musk just tweeting, a price of lithium has gone to insane levels. Tesla might actually have to get into the mining and refining directly at scale unless costs improve. No shortage of the element itself, as lithium is almost everywhere in the world, but it's about extraction and refinement being slow. So Elon, as usual, able to move the markets. You always want to make sure you're following him or, hey, following us, because then you get it live too.
Oh, Elon. Yeah, always up to no good, Elon. Okay, we are getting out another piece here. And you know what? Maybe we won't. Let's cancel that. Let's just put a smaller piece out here on Hood. If we get a 41, we'll take it. I was sitting there for like a third of the position, but, not a third of the position, less than a third of the position. But we still think this retraces back down to VWAP at least. So we want to have something on. So we'll get one more piece out at 41, as that's where the 50 period is, which just allowing me to average back in. And we're going to do that right now, actually. If we get up to 1147, 1148, we are going to average into that. I think that LAC, again, I don't know. I mean, if he's talking about buying somebody out, whether or not it's going to be LAC or not, I doubt it. But, that's big, man. And if they can spark a partnership deal or something with any of these companies, what it's going to do is just validate the PEs on these companies and validate some of what they've been talking about with the rarity exactly of lithium. And we all know that, man. It's not rocket science here that the more EVs that get made, the more raw materials and input prices are going to go up. So here we go. LAC right now taking down 32. Might be worth a little shot here, guys.
All right, I'm just keeping an eye on. You have this already, AMD long. That's a nice little long on AMD. Now at north of 101, right off that 100 area.
I'll take it.
Man, that 100 area is going to be so key, especially the first time it breaks, because I can see stops going off big time south of 100, right? So nice little long here. If you can catch it for cheap, like Sean did at 66, 166, playing against that 100, you get a move like this, a bounce to the upside. cash them out. And now you're sitting on a 66-cent risk, and you have unlimited.
What is this future? What are the
Not
futures even
unlimited, but
doing
a
here, though?
Huge upside potential as the futures now pops north of 4,500, getting some buy side activity there.
We are.
Huge pop there. And from 91 or so, now we're north of 4,500. So nice little move on the future. We're still holding on to our position. We never cashed out when it came back down. We're not getting out now. I'm holding it until the end of the day. We'll see how this one closes out. I may have to take a small hit on this if this closes out around 4,500. But again, we have until 4:15 to get out, right? That's when the futures market closes. Equity market closes at 4 o'clock, 4:15 on the future side. So extra 15 minutes on the future side. We'll see how this one closes out the equity side, and then maybe hold on to a few minutes after and see how far it wants to go into the futures close as well before we cash out or take a hit on this. But we will hold on to this and see if this market's got any juice left to the downside. If anything, it's got to come off these 4,500 and start making its moves soon.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking there. I was very, very close. I mean, look, thanks, Arun, for that comment there about this trade, because, yeah, I was pretty happy with it, and we've been holding it, so we are still holding that 20%. We talked about that, but it just went up to VWAP there, and because that was a crazy move in the NASDAQ, just waiting to see if there was any follow-through, right? So there wasn't, but there could still be. Nice little retracement back down, and this is what I said about it being, my vote is choppy for next week. I mean, I don't see how it could be anything else other than choppy for the right answer there. I mean, I wish bull, but I don't know if that's going to come through. I don't really see any reasons for that. The only thing is, remember, JP Morgan kicks off bank earnings on the 13th, which is Wednesday. So I feel like if you're going to play the market next week, if you're going to like take any time off, make sure you come back Wednesday. That should be exciting, definitely, to trade that. We did get a nice little reload on this. We're trying to, I don't know. I'm not going to hit anything because it's not really that significant of a reload. It's just reloading the same price that we already had there, that we took right there was 45. We got some 47s in there and before it went to 50 again. We're going to get out a little north of 50 on Robinhood if it does continue to move up. Look, I know that I could hold this all the way here to 55, 56. I'm just willing to honestly just take the L if it breaks through 50 and work on it from there. So we're going to wait to see if that does happen. I eventually want to short Robinhood, but it could still take off. I don't know what positioning is for the rest of the country here on Robinhood or day trader. So we'll just hold out on that one. I am noticing, though, new highs. Like check out AbbVie right now. Continues to rock and roll. I've been buying this one. I don't know if Daryl Flinch is on here, but he knows that we were buying this name like $60, $70, man. It's up to $175. Look at the pharma names, man. Big pharma just continuing to work out here. Biopharma, everything. We talked about Eli Lilly as well. And I'm going to call this up and just assume that it's up today. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. These names just continue to work. Yeah, there's Eli Lilly. Like, how does this look, man, on a 20-minute chart? We were just at 290 at the beginning of the month. Let's try 3-4 days ago down here at 292 and a nice little move to the upside here as some of these names continue to work. So you could take out the top there, 314. We're not near there, but look at that's the 1 minute. Look at the daily chart on Eli Lilly. Like, this is from March. I think I see like basically, let's forget about those red days. Basically 3 or 4 red days. I think you got to stay long these names if they do work. And another name that I'm not long in my portfolio, but I was debating Pfizer. Again, a nice solid 3.5 dividend, I believe, anyways. And it's had a nice little move to the upside, just trying to break out right now. So now that I look at this, maybe we could take Pfizer into the close here. Now that's 55.60 right there. I don't know. If you guys see anything that's trending that you want us to look at, put it in the chat, man, and we'll do that coming up very, very soon for you. So, but yeah, for right now, it's kind of just a flat little move here. We'll just see if AMD, we're holding on to that one. If that takes out the top, then good for that. But yeah, we are looking for some names to trade. What's up, Neil?
I got to throw this one just because you mentioned healthcare, and this just hit the wire like 1 minute ago. Look, Gins Global Index Fund sees extensive M&A in the healthcare space, specifically with more big tech interest. And as you said, that entire space across the board, just gigantic, whether it's your Pfizers or your Lillys or your AbbVies. I know UNH has just been absolutely booming. It got almost to $550 today. So it's been a super, super strong sector for sure. And look, when M&A starts to come in, the big boys buy the little and get even stronger. So that could be spurring some or getting some deals done throughout this year, because it's been tough going for some of these tech deals. Everything seems to get challenged by the DOJ.
H has been on fire recently. It is nuts because it's at the top of the list of one of the top weights in the S&P 500 in terms of NYSE names. And I noticed it pop up decently in the last few days where it's been crazy strong. So decent move on UNH and the huge run, especially in tech. I noticed that in PG and J&J as well. But UNH specifically for health, look at this run. Wow. Ever since you crossed 510, it's just been finding some support and then taking off. In 4 days, we went from 510 to 550 now, and still looking strong. No reason to turn the trend, right? On a day when the stock has been doing this around 500 and finally gets a chance to build up a consolidation break and it doesn't go immediately, and then when it finally gets going, imagine how much momentum has been coiled up through this consolidation after that break, and now we're getting to go. So however high UNH wants to go, you just trend trade this. If you've got it positioned, you just trend trade this, because this is one of the easiest trades you can possibly have, is if you've got the trend as it got going, and then at this point you just let it go, right? Talking about trends, ones that I'm holding on to that might be breaking its trend, HPQ finally making a move to the upside. A nice little bounce from 38.30, now at 38.90. My stop is going to be north of 39 even, 39 and change. But we've been short since 9:20 this morning, right? We were short off the daily because of the 40 level. What happened yesterday, messed around, came back in. We ended up taking a hit on the short yesterday. Same read today. Took it against the 41. It did go up in the morning and then finally fell. Second stage after about 11:30 into the afternoon. And we got as low as 38.30. Trail stop on this is sitting just above 39, locking about, 47. So it'll be about 40 cents or so if it gets stopped out. But again, I want to see this until the end of the day because it has potential. We're going to let it go, see how far it can go. And then the other one has been Etsy, which I'm holding on to. That's not even that opposite of a trend. For a stock that I've been talking about trends, Etsy is not trending because, well, I guess recently it's been trending. Sure, if you want to call that a trend, but it hasn't really made itself actually go lower. It's just been kind of trickling down after that nice little spike from that 116 into 120. Now we're trickling down. If we can get going south of 116, maybe we get going, preferably, as we have about half an hour before these imbalances come out. If we're still in this when the imbalances come out, I'm going to have to deal with this as the imbalances come out.
All right, yeah, camera's gone wild over here, but they're fooling around with it. So the good job there, Lucas. It did work, whatever you're trying. So okay, I did want to talk about it. This is interesting because Neil mentioned M&A. Okay, and look, I hold Clover shares, so this is not like I don't think Clover's going to get bought out. But you talk about UNH healthcare plans. I mean, Clover, they're in. I mean, look, it's not the same company. Let's not get that twisted. But you know, Clover has had. It's going to look pretty sick from here all the way to the downside. Obviously, a recent SPAC turned over right now. Shout out to Chamath, you know, and all the bag holders there. Obviously, he's out on everybody else buying it, but we'll get into that later. Look at this move from $2, man, 2 to 4, like that. That's a double up since February. So look, I'm going to say it right now. I think you could probably buy Clover if you do get near this 50 period, which could happen next week, into $253. I mean, they do have income, not income. They do have sales. They do have customers, clients. Teladoc's another name that could get some merger love as well on anything like that. So I just feel like some of these beatdown names, if you can guess without typing this into your, you know, Google machine, what do you think the market cap of Clover is, guys, in the chat? If you guys have any guess on that one, then you can win a little bit. As Robinhood coming back down, look at Teladoc. Oh, that's a New York name, right? I knew that one. Teladoc, another name that's been beat down that did have a high of like 180 or something like that. Now Teladoc, I sold this at 80, 89 or 87. Might be getting back into this name as well, as I do believe there's some value in these spaces. Yeah, there's that high. What did I say? 180. Looks like it's going to be 160 there. Oh, no, there it is right there. Yeah, 175. Whoop, there it is. 310 Teladoc. What was I thinking there? 180. I guess I never really zoomed back that far. But Teladoc goes off at 300. Now all the way back down to 60. So, okay, well, that's good. Whoever... Honestly, I'm going to say the award goes to right here for you on Clover. I'm going to guess a lot of you guys looked, but I am the changer, 1.3 billion. That's very close. Emily, though, you got it. It's 1.5 billion. Went up to Slot Kitty as well. It's 1.54 billion for Clover. So that is like... you know what? Like, that's a sneeze for some of these companies. I mean, Apple obviously looks to put everybody into their platform. Apple's somebody that could look into, I don't want to say they're going to get into healthcare plans, but there is something there. And some of these companies can raise $1.5 billion by snapping their finger. So, you know, there is some possibility there for some of those companies. And Teladoc, the same thing, man, all the way near these bottoms. And I'm not saying anything's going to get bought out, but if you are looking for some sort of consolidation, there are some pretty beat down companies that you could take swings on. 9.9 trillion, that's a good one there. Flame Boy, good guess on that one. Okay, Robinhood there, starting to make new moves here to the downside. So we talked about trying to hold this, and we just got a 36 bid, I guess, out for some trades there. But the average in, now let's just hope for a complete curl over down to 1130 on Robinhood, and we'll be able to take some more out. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm not really working with anything else. I do still have that piece on for AMD, and I assume you're still in that futures short.
Yeah, so we got 3 positions, all shorts, right? We got the future short from earlier this morning, which is around 44.90. We're still holding on to that till maybe the futures close. We've still got Etsy, 30 cents in the money. That we've had that from this morning as well. It was about 10 o'clock or so this morning. Caught it on the move back up, went $2, came back. Now it's trending back down. That's 30 cents in the money. And the last one is HPQ, which we tried it yesterday, tried it again today, and now it's, you know, making a move to the upside, fine. But the trail stop is going to lock in some profit anyways. So we'll see how this one plays out. If it wants to continue up, once we cross 39, I'll probably get out fairly quickly. And then in the event it comes down, we'll just hold it until the imbalances come out. So we're not going to do a whole lot. I'm not adding anything new. I am setting up a few things, though. I noticed that Caterpillar is setting up close to an area that I want to work with. It's this 218 area. We're sitting at 217.5. We can get through 218. I think this sets up a nice little turning point here as it bases out around 214, 215, catching a bid. We may have a chance to go to 222 into 224, 225 even. So nice little turn in Caterpillar. See if this holds. How it closes tomorrow and how it holds on Monday is going to be telling, but there could be a nice little trade I can set up for Caterpillar. Nice little read, especially in this area through this. You know, we had a pocket of resistance here in late January, then another pocket of support around mid-March, and here we are now kind of bouncing off that area. So this could be a nice little springboard to work with. We'll see how this one plays out next week, but definitely marking off some next trades to take, kind of setting up the landscape that I want to work with. You see my alerts, right? My list of alerts that I've got here, from Caterpillar up top to EPAM and Dash at the bottom. So we've got a decent amount of alerts just waiting to go off. It's just a matter of are those going to go off with the right setups, right? So we're just going to wait for them. Nothing too crazy. Futures bouncing back and forth, above 4,500, below 44.95, all over the place. Now it's back to 44.98 and change. Waiting. And who's not waiting? Sean. Sean's got something going on.
We got to try. I mean, might not be for long. Of course. So we took this PHIO because really nothing else was happening here. Pio Pharmaceuticals, we're long here just a little north of $2 now, and it's just, we're waiting for this to break, and it almost did break on us down here. Sorry, the 50 period. Did I put the wrong price in there? Yes, I did put 94s. This 50 period is, well, it's 93s. Okay, so a break back down below 190. We're going to get out of this one. So obviously we'll take a shot here, try to make this 15 cents back up to the highs. We'll get a piece out if it can get up to that 13, which would be a dime for us right here. We're going to watch PHIO as it just flushed again, but stopped. So again, you know, let's see if we can make a little bit of money here heading into the close, going PHIO long. We did talk about LAC possibly for that long through 32. We did not take it, but that would have worked. That went to 32.60 here on, again, Elon Musk tweeting out about lithium prices. It's not rocket science. We know about lithium prices and where they're going and the need for minerals and for getting into these EV spaces. So PHIO and LAC, two names that are moving. And I still think there's possibility for this one. So let's see, can we retest the highs again in a slow Friday? Hopefully some more eyeballs start coming over here and we can take a shot. Again, this is not going to be anything that's like a day ruiner or anything. This is just like literally, let's see if we can get some action here. And here it goes right now up to 09s. Maybe that was a level there to be taken as PHIO starting to work a little bit. You know what? I'll take an 8 if we can get it. And then all I'm going to do now is just see if we can go 10% to the upside there. We didn't even get out at 8. There it goes through 9s now. We are waiting at 13s, like I said. So we'll just keep that order there. And this is what I mean about getting a little bit excited. Sometimes you got to put your emotions there, because when you make a trade like that and it goes right in the money for you, a nice little, 10% or so would be 20 cents. There it goes through. Go PHIO. We have this one at 204 right now. We'll get some more outs. There it is, another 13. Let's see if we get to the upside right now, as it's starting to get excited right now. All right, you know what? Whatever. Let's hold the rest of this. See if we take out the higher rune. Damage already done on this stock. We'll lay down some cash. We'll see if the apes can get a hold of PHIO now and see if we go back up to the upside. Hey, it's only up 135%. Obviously we called this one yesterday. Hopefully, no, we didn't. I wish we did. And we got a question in the chat yesterday. They said, how can you find, I think I told this to you.
Yeah.
It was, how can you find, how could you slap? How can you find names that are going to run before they run? So
if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I would tell some people there,
Definitely
but the point about it is, I think there actually is a reasonable answer to that. And what you're trying to look for is basically the sectors, right? And picking one out of that sector that's going to run next, I think some of the catalysts are low floats. Some of the catalysts are maybe some activist intervention, things like that. So you guys can sort of look that stuff up. But yeah, I think the crystal ball is really the right answer there. What's up, Neil?
I actually do have a bit of an answer there, because when we came to this name, I don't think you had to catch it right away. Just make sure you have we've traded idea scanners. I know Brennan has that up here, and this was all over every single volume scanner that you could find, because it did absolutely nothing all day long, and then right about 1 o'clock popped up on news and then had a halt to the upside. So you're not going to get the $1 break. It's just, unless you're looking at this stock for whatever reason, making a bet on it around 80 cents or 90 cents, you're not going to catch it. But once it makes that halt up, you can see, and it comes through with the news, it's now broken out of $1. There was a chance to get it at $1 to $1.20. And even if you didn't catch that, look at the double top it made at 150. So even that secondary break. So there are chances to get into it, but it all starts with volume. Have a volume scanner, set up alerts for key price areas. That's where it all comes from.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think we answered that pretty good there. So, and I was kind of like, I wasn't mocking the question. It was just the fact that it is very hard to find those runners, right? We only have 25%, actually 20% left of this position. It just went up there real fast. Not, the volume's kind of dying down right now. So if we do come back in, I think now this has moved to $1.95. So again, well worth the risk and reward. We're just adding beer money. You got to be people's trader and give some beer money flows coming through there for tonight. So enjoy baseball. I know Neil's getting ready to go to the game. You're not a huge baseball fan, or
not at all.
Not at all. Just a
not
hard
at all. No, the only
pass?
time I've been to a baseball game is when there was food offered. It was a suite, and you know how you get
I know how
food?
you're balling. Yeah.
You know how food is, right? So I just sat there and ate food for the entire time, and I'm just like, what's happening in the game? I don't even know, and I don't even care.
Ooh.
The food is so good. But it's just me and baseball, man. I find
just firing
baseball.
the shots.
No, I know Neil's a huge baseball fan. It's just the sport itself for me is just, I don't know. There's just
it is probably. I don't want to say it's the slowest sport. I mean, I don't even watch curling. I play curling. That's pretty slow. Oh God, here we go. Now Prad's getting it. No. The ball is active for 18 minutes. Yeah, so very good statistics there, Prad. Yeah, no, look, it's America's pastime, and I like baseball. I mean, I don't have a problem with baseball. It's a great game to play, that's for sure. I think, for me, honestly, out of all the sports, I honestly think baseball, like if you're part of a baseball team, like a rec team or something like that, that's tons of fun. And I'm not going to ever say anything bad.
Playing sports is different, completely different from watching sports, right? When you're engaged and you're involved, it's a completely different sport. I was a two-sport athlete in high school, which was, ironically, it was football and baseball. So I get it. It's fun to play it, to watch people playing it. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think I have better things to do than sit there and watch people doing it. But that's just my opinion. But again, like you said, it's America's pastime. So clearly they're doing something right to get the country to love the sport. So it's just not for everybody, right? Everyone has their own little thing. For me, I'm more of a football, basketball guy over baseball, but that's just me.
Yeah. Some people saying that, it's a pastime, not a sport. That's why that quote's there, but come on. Let's just go on that one. But I'm excited for the Blue Jays, man. I think they win the AL East. I already have that bet on. I have them over 91.5 wins. We keep talking about that. I'm excited to watch baseball, and you're going to see Pepperoni Tony on the 1s and 2s here coming through for the close, and he's getting ready to start overpouring some drinks over there at the Rogers Center. So I'm very, very excited to go to some baseball games. Neil has season tickets, so he's going to be flowing some this way. And I think we could do a Trader TV Live outing as well there. So I was also season ticket holders with Neil to the Buffalo Bills. So we're all over that. And I actually have my application in right now for Raptors season tickets, but there's a lineup. So you can't get season tickets.
It's too late for that.
The only sport in Toronto I think you get season tickets for is baseball, because it's a bigger stadium and so on and so forth. But Raptors and Maple Leafs, NEPA. The Maple Leaf waiting list, I think, is down to 25 years. And I'm being serious on that one as well. So, and even Raptors, I've been on there for 3 years. If anyone, you guys are a connection there with Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, hook your boy up, man. I'm willing to pay for Raptors season tickets. Let's just go on to the trade now. That PHIO is still holding up pretty good here. I am out of 75% of the trade now, just for small, man. We took dimes there. It went up to 13s, 14s. That first piece there was really only 20%. But then when that happened, we got out because we were only risking a dime. So when I saw that come through, let's hold the last piece for that beer money and see if it can't take out that high of 225. A little bit more notes here. It has the capabilities to get into 3. So if it wants to run, we've seen that happen before on big volume days. We've seen it. They don't happen too often, but here's one today. So definitely try to take advantage of that to the upside. Let's review AMD quickly because it's just bouncing around. Obviously on the 1-minute chart, we had multiple opportunities to get it out at that VWAP and we didn't do it. So feeling not great about that. We've made a hell of a lot more money on our move to the downside with Robinhood. So that's been really like easing the pain on this trade. Wow, there goes Robinhood again. We are now 12 cents in the money on this Robinhood play. And I mean, I can't do it any better than this. It comes right back into the area. We put up the shorts. We even reload that short. And I was like, you know what? Let's hold for VWAP. And there it is. Like, if you guys don't,
oh my God.
Like I said, if you don't trade the same style as us, that's fine. You don't have to. But this is like a one and done trade. It was up here. I just happen to have the luxury of being able to average in there. But anyone could have had 40s, 45s, 50s. And now it's back down to 33. So, I mean, look, you're going to take this move. That's 1% right there just alone in the last 20 minutes on Robinhood. Let's see if it can make new lows. We're going to get some more out at 25 if we can.
Yeah, futures coming off hard now, off those 4,500s. Remember, it was an inflection point. We're going to see what happened, what 4,500 brings to the table. Clearly resistance, and now it's moving down south. And see if we can get some acceleration. We're going towards the end of the day. We were looking for a sell. Remember, we're priced underneath 90. See if you can get a movement to the downside. Are we going to Neil?
I believe so.
All right, Neil.
Yeah, you can't make this one up here, Sean. Buyout firms GTCR, CD&R circle Merit Medical, apparently. So GTCR is informed that Merit Medical it would be willing to pay $72 to $75 per share. Merit shares were trading around $61. Just in yesterday's trade. They broke out just now of 66, got to that 71 price, and are on the move. You can see on the daily breaking towards that 70 to 71. So no sooner were we just talking about M&A and the healthcare space, and there you go, potential bid for MMSI.
Maybe we do have that crystal ball after all, but I mean, you brought the story to us as well. So if any of you are in any of those names, look, I can't buy anything now, but I think probably Monday morning I may look at picking up some Clover shares. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I'm already long in it, just adding the position. We can't. And this is what we do here just for respect of everybody on the show, like being as honest as we can. We're not going to be buying shares in our own personal account and talking it up like at the same time. Give everybody an opportunity to take it if they like it so that we're not like, called anything or anything like that. And that's just what we do on the show. Thank you for Dr. Strange, man. We are certainly killing it on Hood today, man. And we killed it on, first of all, PHIO almost ticked us out there at 95, didn't. So that's a good one there. But yeah, Robinhood today definitely destroyed. And again, again, trade your share sizes, but like that average in was pretty cool, and this has been pretty cool too. We'll take another 33. Actually, we just did. We got another 33 out there on that move down. I'm still waiting for 25. Let's check out Rite Aid. Rite Aid was another name that yesterday was a beautiful trade for us, or for me yesterday. I don't think you had Rite Aid after all.
I didn't trade it at
it was
all.
me and you going back and forth on HPQ. But Rite Aid today, wow, and I'm glad I didn't trade this today, from basically going bankrupt yesterday on that call by Deutsche Bank, I believe it was, yesterday, just straight to the downside. We had this whole move, guys, all the way down. We were short, and there's that pop. Let me zoom into this just to show you how much like Robinhood this was today. Look at that. We were short in here yesterday for Rite Aid. Oh, wow. Those just popped in there, my trades from yesterday.
Oh.
So I was just saying, yesterday, we were short Rite Aid, and then it's right there. That pop happened, and then all the way downside, and we got another piece out somewhere here as the day goes on. Where is it? Anyways, whatever. But we had this move all the way to the downside, including that 630. We don't have a 615 bottom print, but that's very, very similar. Look at this move here. Short the pop, okay? Now watch this play here on Robinhood today. This is us earlier. That's us today. Look at this. Short the pop again, and hit this all the way to the downside. So it's basically an identical back-to-back jacks. And for that one, I'll guarantee you, how about this for a prop? I'm going to go right onto my, I'm not going to say what sportsbook I use because, again, we don't want to advertise it. But I'm going to go right onto my account. And what about a Vladdy home run today, Neil? You like that as a prop? I'm actually going to find out right now what that is on a Vladdy home run tonight and see what happens, because I believe the Sky Dome, I ain't calling it no Rogers Center, although I own Rogers shares. It's the Rogers Center yeah, so at the
It's so true. It's so true.
yeah, so in the Rogers Center tonight here, yeah, I'm a sellout for cash. Hell yeah, I'm a sellout for cash. Watch RCI right now here. You want to talk about a decent investment? RCI. It's not down 6%. Come on, son. There we go. Up 1% today. Our Rogers Communications working. Look at this. Talk about a utility basically working out here. Rogers, very similar to your AT&Ts, Verizons of the world as well. But I'm going to think that Vladdy can get that pop tonight. What was that, Neil?
Put it on Chapman. You'll get better
Chapman.
odds.
Oh, the new guy, Chapman.
Yeah, you'll get better odds for Chapman, and he's a beast. He was killing it in the spring.
All right, yeah. We'll check out. I'm going to check it out right now. So, Arun, 340. Are you nervous about the imbalances today? I think the futures look like they're going the other way. I don't know if we have an imbalance.
Downside?
Oh, here it is. Prad gave us it from Financial Juice. 104 million sell side.
Slight sell side bias, I guess. But anyways, it's going to be around that 90 area anyways. That's where we're sitting. That's where the market wants to play. We'll see how this one, we've got 10 minutes left. So it could still run in either direction, but preferably to the downside. That's what I would like. I got to keep a very close eye on Etsy. Etsy's very thin. Imbalance is coming out soon. It's in the money, 50 cents for the time being, but we got to keep an eye on that one. And then HPQ stops already out north of 39. If we need to get out because there's a buy side imbalance, we'll get it out at that point. But for the time being, we're going to wait on these imbalances. We'll do that rundown. I do this rundown every time. What is the imbalance? What do we keep referring to? Is this little indicator that we have here tells us how many shares need to be bought and sold at the close. It tends to put pressure on the stock right at the end of the day. So you just have the stock name, the side that shares need to be bought and sold. What this essentially is that everyone can send in orders with a specific tag if you want to execute at the final closing price, and then that just goes to show right here. So it'll change. First release is at 350, then you get an update at 355, and then depending on how much size is done and how much the volume is on the stock, if it's a large relative volume to the day's trading, then yeah, it's going to move the stock. But typically on a day like today where there's no special rebalances or special indexing events, you're not going to see something large. Maybe, you might see some NVIDIA sell side action. Is down 4.5%. So that could be something you might see in the imbalances when it does come out. But for the time being, we're not going to expect too much, I guess, from these imbalances.
Neil, does Berrios get 6 or more strikeouts? Because that's even money right now. I don't mind that play at all. Matt Chapman already made plus 500, so 5-1 to hit a home run. Those odds are bad, but I took it anyways. It's actually pretty good. Vladdy is only plus 270. So 2.7 to 1 there for Vlad to hit a home run on opening day. So we put $10,000 on Chapman Didn't put that much money on Chapman to hit the home run. I like the Berrios. I don't know how many strikeouts he averages, but again, he could strike out the side in the first inning, and you have 6 strikeouts. So let me see what Neil's opinion is on that. Berrios, 6 or more strikeouts, even money.
You take it because I'm fairly certain they'll start Adolis Garcia, like their second-year outfielder. That guy's good for 2 or 3 Ks on his own, and they got a few free swingers on that team. They'll probably also get Marcus Semien at least once as he returns. But I like that, so take that. I would take it. I mean, Berrios, he's a strikeout machine. He's got the slider working, 95. He's also got a pretty good change, so I would take those odds.
I'm down with Berrios. I mean, last night I had Pascal Siakam over 24.5 points. I mean, he had that like at halftime. He dropped 30-something. I know, Arun, this is not your thing. So let's skip this right now, just real quickly. What happened to that PHIO there? Did I get stopped out and then it went back down? Well, yeah, look at that. I was like, why don't I still have this? As it went right back to those highs, I was like, let me get this out. And I looked and it got stopped out there on that 95 break. Boo. PHIO, though, another positive name as we stack up those cash. That cash. Would have liked to still have that. Damn it. Just got stopped out there. Ugh, that sucks. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey Sean, 977 people participated in our poll, and majority of people think that next week will be positive. So we really hope for that. And I wanted to point out that 977 people voted, but we have only 600 likes. If you can participate in the poll, you definitely can like. Guys, just 15 minutes left until the end of this trading day. And it would be really nice and kind of you if you support the community and like this video for all work we do here on Trader TV Live side. Back to you guys.
All right. What? I missed that. What did you say? One choppy?
Positive.
Positive next week.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, look, man, I love the enthusiasm. That's what I'm talking about. I'm down with that. Some nice little positivity coming through on the market next week. But it can be choppy and positive, right? I mean, I think that's. But let's see if we end up positive. I'll take that for next week. But yeah, definitely hit the like button. I think it's been definitely an entertaining show. Thank Arun for stepping up and in again. He's here all next week as Brendan continues his vacation, and hopefully he's enjoying wine country, where he was telling us he's going. And what he doesn't know is I'm going to show up there. No, I'm not, but that should be really fun for Brendan, and hopefully he's enjoying himself. But yeah, AMD, look, I'm going to hold this. We only have a couple minutes. I know you maybe you want to talk about the imbalances again. I don't know. You have it up. But
once they come out, yeah.
Yeah, once they come out, we'll do the imbalances again. So Arun will have that little talk. Normally I do it. He'll look at that today. Okay, so I'm just going to hold out for AMD. If AMD does rip into the close, I am going to take this VWAP out. So it's only 30 cents away. I'm going to take it. We're going to ring the register on $1 winner if that can come back up to the upside. If it comes to the downside, we are not, because there's only 10 minutes left in the day, we are not defending that $100 level. I have no idea what orders are going to come at that, so I'm not defending that $100 level. 2 trades left for me. The first one is out of AMD. If it comes up to this, let's play a little north of this. Let's just see if it gets up here. If it gets, we don't have any orders out. If it does come up here, dances and breaks back down, we'll get out of that trade. So that's AMD. And then, of course, Robinhood, my #1 net stock today, Robinhood, just starting to get some out now as it looks like it wants to respect VWAP right here off of these shorts. So short right now, out. I'm holding like 60-70% of this trade, thinking that Robinhood does fall down here. So that's really what I'm looking for. It could be a big win for me at the end of the day. Let's see if we can finish at the high spot now and get a little bit of a Robinhood push back down into 24.25. That's kind of the level that I'm looking at. So if the imbalances come out south side for Hood, then we should be able to get that push.
Yeah, you would think. I would hope that they come out sell side. Etsy, come on, let's go. We're not that far away from that 116. If we can break that 116, we can open the door to the downside, but we are waiting for these for those imbalances coming out in about 3 minutes or so just now. No offense to Arun, but there's a
Brendan.
Brendan does his trading, actually. When he's at the screen, he does small cap recap. He's always talking about
I think they want Brendan in your seat.
This is not my seat. This is
Neil's seat.
I mean, that's between you and that's between Brendan and Neil. If they can have one day where they just swap seats,
I'll
discuss
works. I'll discuss that.
There you go.
We can. The 3 of us will discuss it. Not I will discuss it. 3 of us will discuss that. And hey, I don't mind. Neil's killing it up there. But the thing about it.
I wouldn't go that far. Look, we actually used to do this, by the way. Like when we started out before YouTube, when it was internal to Day Trade the World, we would rotate. Like one person would be, two would be on the desk, and the other would be doing like kind of the news role. But Brennan, being a pro at it, obviously has slid into this. But yeah, he does trade all day long. He has his setup, his charts, his level 2s right here, and he's a great trader in his own right. To be honest, it's just he's so good at what he does. I do a very poor impression of trying to beat Brennan. That's all it is.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be fun to do it one day, but yeah, Neil having very valid points there. And plus, when Neil's not at his desk, it's hard. We talked about this earlier, having your trade setups and things like that. So I'm more comfortable sitting here, obviously. So I'm going to stay here. But I think Neil's killing it up there. So I think that would be good. But thanks for the suggestion. Keep them coming, guys. I mean, that's what we want to do. We're here to make this show better for everybody. We're already enjoying ourselves. We have a full trading floor, well, close to full trading floor behind us, and they're excited. We're excited, and we are now approaching a nice little Friday, hopefully. For you, I know you're short the futures, and I'm short Robinhood, so let's hope that this goes down. I'll give up this AMD trade as we only have 20% left on that one. Let's see if it goes, PHIO, you're killing me, bro. Up to 250. I didn't even realize that stop ticked, and I went over there to get out of this trade, but yeah, darn, PHIO now taking out that high. I was waiting for this, man. You guys know that, and I hope that you guys have this trade as well. I don't know, as if that breaks 95 one time, and then I get out right there. But that's why, man, I knew something like that could have happened. So PHIO, hurt me, baby, hurt me, as that one's going to the upside. It's not hurting me at all, but yeah, that was a profit spot there that we could have had, and we didn't. So PHIO, beautiful move, man. Congratulations to anybody that was able to hold on to that one. PHIO up, I just don't know how to pronounce it. Upside right there as we could, 230 just got taken out hard there. Okay, only 20 seconds left right now, Arun, into these imbalances. You have it up there, so, without any further ado, let me throw it over to you, and then if you need to manage your futures positions, just call me back and I'll be here.
Yeah, so we got about 10 seconds left. Futures heading to the downside. We'll put this up on the big screen here. See if that's my position. That's the futures board. We're at 89 right now. What are we going to get? Here they come out, and they are buy side.
Buy side.
All over the place.
Yeah,
because it popped up for a little bit there. It did go all the way up to 91. I would love to know what the official print is. I'm sure we can get it from that Twitter guy.
Yeah, we'll get it.
But futures are heading to the downside. Futures are heading to the downside. What do we have in terms of imbalances, actual imbalances? We got Discovery, buy side 2 million shares, and we got Citigroup, GT, VTRS, INTC doesn't really matter. Apple's there for a sell side imbalance of 1 million shares. Futures now accelerating to the downside. Hey, we went from a negative position all day to 6 points in the money now as we get to the end of the day. And I can hear Prad in the corner going something. And I'm just like, Prad, did you get out?
You like that one?
You got out of your short. He got stopped out of his short before this move to the downside.
Where is Slipper?
Where is that Slipper?
Where is Slipper?
Oh, man.
Right now, but we don't need no Slipper. We just need one of these guys. A bang-a-roni there, because first of all, we got out of AMD. That's a no-brainer. But look at Robinhood, man. Comes to the downside. There's some ticks out, man. 27, 29. Our 26s didn't fill. That would have almost got me out of my position. We were waiting for 24s, 25s. So obviously 26s. I have a load sitting there, did not get out at 26. So we may have to upsize this out and just lose that 2 pennies if it does hit around here, 28. I didn't see Robinhood on there, but again, yeah, I don't see anything to do with Robinhood on here, but we'll just play. Come on, give me that 26, baby. If we can get out of some 26s there, then we'll be pretty happy with that one as it's coming back in right now. And there it is. Yeah, we get some 26s. Let's go. Yeah, we killing it again today. So wow, what a good close, man. The reload there on Hood, the buy of AMD, the buy of PHIO. Your boy's here, and we're not going anywhere, but we are going over to Neil. What up?
Well, first things, I want to know where the Slipper is, because I'm not sure why you get stopped out of that trade, Prad. And I know Arun's slipping over there. I know you're trading. But that's fine, but I got to get that out of the way. A bit of a story coming down here to end the day. Crypto miners drop as Tesla block step into the ring. So some mining firms falling as Tesla and Blockstream are going to collaborate to mine Bitcoin using solar power, something we know Elon has been sort of quite talkative about as well. So a late story. There's nothing, there's no point talking earnings. There's really nothing to get to on that part. But you mentioned, Sean, of course, coming next week, starting with JPM on Wednesday, we're going to get all the banks, right? JPM Wednesday, and then the other big four are going to come, I think, Thursday pre-market. They're up today, but they've been getting absolutely crushed. So nothing on tap for Monday, but we get the big banks. That's a big moment for this market.
Yeah, I'm buying banks. I was buying some Canadian banks today as well. I think that banks are a little bit overdone to the sell side. This rate environment should work for them to some extent. There are money center banks. There's regionals as well. So we're going to do some research and we'll come back with you later on. But I just saw it. I just looked up Financial Juice. And again, we are not associated with this at all. And Brad put it in the chat as well. It turned out to be 2.4 billion to the sell side.
Hello.
So hello, that's why you get that move to the downside right there. And we did cash them out. And I'm just getting ready to empty the rest of them. We still have 25% of this position. But those were big takes, man. We actually got out twice at 26. So some big outs there happening for me at 26 off of this move here. I mean, just look at what we did today on this. Short, bang. Short. We're reloaded. Hit it, boom. In, boom, out. So yeah, good trading there for us on this day. And we did finally, patience wins again. And this is what I'm trying to preach as well to everybody and to myself. And that is just like, if you wait for your key levels to come through and then put on shares there, when this does happen, you do run to the bank. And it's like nice trading there. Normally I'd average almost the same amount of shares, but I'm trying to play it closer to the vest. And if I miss the trade, and this is something from my man to the right here, if I miss the trade and it doesn't come in, then it doesn't come in. There's always more trades, other stocks to look at. But when this made its move back up to 1150, we were like, okay, we're reloaded. And it was at 1145 was our big position there. So yeah, made me real happy with this Robinhood close. And I hope you guys are having similar success. With only 5 minutes left here, Arun.
Yeah.
How did your futures go? Did it?
It's about 6 points in the money now. For the amount of heat, that's what people don't get is there was getting a lot of heat when I was short. I just don't understand why you're so committed to one direction. Just be open to all sides of the chart. If it's a long, it's a long. If it's a short, it's a short. You don't need to be angry about the short because there was a lot of heat I was getting when I was getting short in the 90s. And I mentioned that this is going to be one of those trades where if I need to hold all day, I'll do it. So here we are waiting for that 355 update. What do we get from the update? There goes, okay, all of the big ones are gone. So Discovery, gone. Apple, gone. I can't even remember the other ones, but all of them are gone. So the only one left is SPKR, which I think is a test symbol. It's not even a real symbol. From what I understand. Let me remove ARCA. Let's go New York only. PCG is the biggest buy at 956. That's it. So imbalances, nada. So we're going to move on to the futures. I've already started cashing out HBQ. Remember, we still have HBQ and Etsy short on top of the futures. So HBQ, we've cashed out some, about 80 cents in the money. We've cashed out some of Etsy for in front of 116. You'll see that triangle. Can you see it here? Yeah, it's right down here. That was right in front of 116 there, so that was about 90 cents or so. And I'm going to dump the rest as we get into the end of the day. Futures, I'm going to hold on. Remember, I said if I need to hold on, I will hold on until the futures close, which is at 4:15, not 4 o'clock. So we can wait for that Globex close and see if this market wants to run even further. So for now, it's an 8-point winner, but we're going to wait on this one and see how much further it wants to go after the equity market closes. And I might get fancy with it too. I might start adding some right towards the end as well if we get some pressure to the downside. But for now, we're just going to deal with our equity positions. Remember, we're a trading floor here that needs to be flat by the end of the day, right? We're not swinging anything. So day trading only. We're going to get out of Etsy and HPQ by the end of the day. Futures, I'll hold on a little bit longer and see how much further it wants to go.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a big shout out here to Dr. Strange and to Playmaker as well. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're trying to be on fire for you. Oh, that PHIO is now, wow, what a move. We're still holding on to a little bit of hood in case we do flush. Pretty happy about this position. Again, we only have that 15% on now as we just got a 25 bid as well. But look at this PHIO, man. We had that thing dead to right until it broke there. But we talked about getting 7,000 Instagram followers. I don't have that many, only 4,400 right now. But here's the Playmaker right here. Shout out to the Playmaker. And this is why I'm covered in Miami now. So come at me. We have the Playmaker right here. Thank you so much. Hit me up on Instagram, guys. The Playmaker in the building. Thanks to Nelson as well. We had some fun times. Here's what's up to Brendan. But there's our bull turned out to St. Patrick's Day as well. Hit me up at Trader TV Sean. And I actually had somebody, thanks Playmaker as well for your kind words in the chat. And we had a lot of fun that day. I'll hopefully meet lots of other traders as well. But what I wanted to get at was I also got a tweet sent to me today about Miss V. And it was just like, is this her real account? Basically, you just have to see, it has to be at Trader TV Sean, Trader TV Valeria, things like that. Watch for the spelling. There was a 1 at the end of her name. So look, you guys, just be smarter than that. Do not send anything to, you can converse with us because it's not us, but you can converse back and forth. Just don't be tricked into sending anything away to these people. I know some of the traders behind us and some of our fans do have fun going back and forth with those accounts as if they're real. But please, we're never going to ask for anything other than if you want to purchase sweaters, and we do have the $5 membership. So please be very, very careful there about some of those scammers that apparently have like 2,800 accounts for me, and so on and so forth. So, okay, 2 minutes left here. We're getting pumped up a little bit. The guys behind us are getting excited. It's almost that time to close your trading stations for the week, and then we'll be back at this Monday at 8:30. I'm going to get out of the rest of this Robinhood trade.
Yeah, I've cashed out now. HPQ we're walking away from. That's a decent winner. We were short all day for the most part. From up here at 39.5, now we're cashing out in front of the 70s into the mid-60s. That's done. Etsy as well, cashing out in front of 116, now north of 116.5. That's done. We're flat. Futures, I've also cashed out some in front of this 80 here. We're going to get this done, and I'll hold some until the end of the day. Well, when I mean end of the day, I want to see after 4 o'clock, see how much of a run we have after 4 o'clock closes. So that's it for me. For the most part, we've cashed out everything I needed to cash out. I'm holding the piece that I want to hold, and we're just going to let this one ride out as Sean closes his hood as well with about a minute left. We got to hit that countdown on time today.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
I can see Tony and Valeria ready. They are ready for a dance before they go with it. Yeah. And Tony is hobbling with the dance.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
he's got that dance going on right now. He's ready to rock and roll. It is Toronto Tony, and we'll put our hat on backwards here as we're getting ready to celebrate. We are now out. That's a banger right there for us on Robinhood, and we are not robbing from the blind at all, or from the poor, as not the blind for sure. As we get ready to go here, I'm going to get ready to hit that countdown. Thank you, Tease Trade, as well, for your comments there on AMD. We're really happy with the way we hit that one. Follow us all on Instagram and on social as we get ready to rock and roll. Here we go, guys. There's Tony. He's in the background. We only have 7 seconds now before we finish out this day. Cancel all your stop orders. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Oh, yeah, I like that high five. Oh, yeah, there it is. A nice little serious day ending there as Tony, the pepperoni man, does that nice little high five. He gets the last one in there. Thank you, guys. That was a great little bell ring there to end the week as we get ready to rock and roll. Yeah, good day, I think. Anyways, Neil, how do we wind up?
Well, unless you care about the Dow, we didn't actually end up green today. But at least we had a heck of a lot of fun at the close. Fantastic show as always. But Dow up 0.5%, but the NASDAQ, down 1.5%. To end what obviously was not going to be a positive week. S&P down 0.4, just under 0.4. Crude made a bit of a comeback, up 2%, and you do see Bitcoin there dropping down 2%. Ether flat, but most of the moves are going to be bigger over the weekends. Not the best week in the world with the Fed minutes, but certainly some sectors in the market holding up well. Like we talked about, healthcare is just booming.
Yeah, big time. There's a lot of big movers here, and oil's going to be bouncing around as well. Oil down to $98, you saw right there as well. So big week for oil, big week for equities this week to the wrong way. But hopefully we can get some extension next week to the back to the upside as we get some relief rallies, I think is due. So we'll see. Monday should be a really fun day. Big shout out to Lucas, who was running the 1s and 2s basically by himself today. So shout out, well, not basically, I think he was. Shout out to Lucas. Thank you so much for that. There he is right there. Mark's there as well. Great help, man. These guys guys are in every single day. So a big shout out to everybody. Shout out to Arun again. Thanks for the cover the last couple days. He's here next week as well, so that should be a lot of fun. Shout out to Trader Prad, who's over there feeling it there as he avoided some slippers, and that should be real fun. Getting ready to set up for a big desk there for Trader Prad. Get off him. Get off Trader Prad. I was wondering, like, is that an NFT of Trader Prad there? Because he was kind of like frozen in time there. That might be a good decision as well. All day, baby.
What did you say?
All day.
Oh, that's not Brad.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was waiting for something to happen all day. Maybe it was your futures move to the downside there. So
It was a nice
congratulations.
snap up.
I don't know who that was, Ian, or who that was
I
back
thought that was
there.
Pratt. I thought he was waiting
I
for
don't know
the
who was
sleeper all day.
celebrating,
That's
but everybody behind us, guys, thank you for a great week. Neil, enjoy the game tonight. I mean, that should be awesome. I mean, definitely jealous of not being able to be there. Tell people what row you're sitting in.
I will be in section 128.
Don't say the section, man.
Row 4. I don't care.
Okay,
Dude,
okay.
I'm in the same seats every single time I go. So whatever, you're going to see me there. And you'll see me in my pina colada shirt. Also, by the way, Sean, we're going to Rodney's before the game. If they don't have bourbon, I'm going to lose it. Like, remember last time? It's like, you don't have bourbon at Rodney's? Really? So today, if they don't have it, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, right. And I would just cancel that.
He's talking about oysters, right?
Yeah.
Rodney's oyster. I didn't realize Neil got real fancy before his baseball games. He doesn't just show up.
Yeah, it's oysters before baseball. Wow.
Yeah, wow. He
Wow, that is.
So Sean, you know, I'm going with J-Mart. So he's like, we always go to Rodney's when we head out. So it should be good fun.
Yeah.
Plus, my wife never gets to have oysters very often. So.
Yeah, it's a tradition thing. But yeah, definitely have those hot dogs, have that beer, have a cold one at the game for all of us, guys. Thank you for watching. You're going to see the trade of the day is going to be Robinhood, which we wound up just destroying at the end as well. So thank you to Miss V again. I know she's not on camera. Great day today. And thank you. There we go. Yeah, the big Justin Bieber heart there, who I believe is still married, Miss V, Justin Bieber. So we'll let you know when that turns around. But thank you to everybody. 8:30 on Monday. Have a great weekend. But make sure to join us. 8:30 Monday. We're back. Arun, myself, Neil, Miss V, and Trader Prad throwing it down. Have a great weekend. See you guys.